Hey guys, welcome back. I am co-casting with Malachite here. He was in the last game, so you guys will get to see that a little bit. We're going to do observe mode, and we are going to get the map and the civs over to you guys real quick. The map first is the map is going to be rolled first. Hudson Bay map. And then we're going to get the civs real quick for... This is for Sir Musket and Patrick. Russia. Russia, India. And for Black Duck and Max Magus, we'll get those two. Spain. And Russia. Max and Duck, Spain, Russia. Alright, so this Civ matchup, what do you make of it, Malachite? Russia, India versus Spain and Russia.
Depends how the India player plays, to be honest. If they play like me, they'll lose badly. But the Spanish player just has the better unit composition over the Russia-India combo, especially with the Lancers.
Yeah, with the Lancers could be really nice if you get an FF off. If India doesn't rush really hard, which in higher levels of gameplay, a 10-10 is not very common. You don't see super hard rushes from them usually. They have good units H2, but generally you age on like 14-ish bills, and you go a little bit more on the eco side. And if they did that, an FF is possible from Spain. And if you FF'd, Zambraks are a good option into Lancers. So Zambrak, Strelitz could still do well versus, say, Lancers in Strelitz. But yeah, that could be interesting for sure.
I am looking forward to see more Russian compositions though, because mine clearly failed in my last game, if anyone saw that.
Yep. Observer mode. Sir Musket actually saying that I have a cool idea. I like that. Alright, so looking at chat, looks good. I'm going to go back to the game for you guys. It doesn't look... You don't click... Oh, it won't let you click observe mode?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah. It's Russian and India versus Spain and Russia. Okay. So we'll get him to relog real quick. Sorry for that, guys. I'm sorry. I can't say more than that. All right, so yeah.
So I like this.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I like this tournament idea you've got, where you basically just go, you've got these two civs to choose from. You guys sort out which one you want to play.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, it allows players that aren't used to some civs to have less of a chance of being forced onto them, and then also you choose who is better at what civ too. Like perhaps if two players are pretty decent at Russia and then one's just a lot better at India, then you can choose who goes to India or yeah. I need to update the name of the stream. Go ahead and say whatever you're going to say.
I was going to say, it's a good idea in theory, except when you do the map rolls and you get Kamchatka 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I considered taking out maps that were played already. I could do that pretty easily. I could do it pretty easily in the current iteration, but there's going to be kind of like a the new map randomizer that I'm going to have. It's not going to be possible to do that just because it's kind of a beta version of it. But yeah.
How many maps are in the map pool again? It's like 7 or
No, it's 12 maps, I believe. I will
oh,
double
12.
check
Okay,
that.
way off.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at
it's a
that
lot of
now.
maps. I was trying to make it so that there would be really good maps that everybody would be happy with, but also a lot of maps so that it would be less chance of the same map being coming up several times.
Apparently.
Yeah, I say less
You
chance,
got-
but yeah,
You got 13 maps here.
yeah. 13?
Yeah, Arkansas. I can never pronounce this. Badger, California. Baja, California. Cascade Range, Colorado, Dakar, Fertile Crescent, Hudson Bay, Kamchatka, Manchuria, Nepal, Pampas Sierras, and Wabakimi.
I could almost swear it's 12 because I
Okay, I'm gonna
actually
count again. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, okay, yeah, nope, 12. My
12.
bad. I
Okay,
counted that as
good.
2. Yep.
No, you can do 0% handicap if you don't want to have PR have it rated. All right.
Why is it?
Why is what?
It's rated. What?
What was the map? What was the map? The map was
Hudson
wrong.
Bay.
Hudson Bay. Yeah, it was. Thanks. All right, we're gonna get into this really shortly, guys. It's the civs are decided. The map is decided. Just waiting on the players to green up.
I always like watching Spain play, to be honest. Especially
Yeah.
when they go aggro.
Yeah, Spain is very interesting. I don't know if it's because you watched me play that and my opinion of Spain has rubbed off on you, but I like Spain too. It's they have unique units and a unique style of play, with just lots of shipments coming in, and you can use those shipments for whatever you want.
I also like it because they revolt, and I love seeing revolts.
Yeah, revolts are always fun. All right, so this is the match number 2, game number 1 of the 2v2 Jackpot tournament hosted by JAILEDaoe, co-casted by Malicite. It is Sir Musket and Patrick versus Max Magus and Black Duck, Indians, Russians versus Russian Spanish. And the map is Hudson Bay. This is the summer version of Hudson Bay. You don't always see it. Sometimes, a decent amount of the time, it is winter version. But yeah, it is summer version of Hudson Bay. It is Spanish and Russia versus India and Russia. We'll make sure the map generation is fair enough. Everyone starts with 1 hunt and 1 mine, 1.5 hunts, if you will. And that looks good. You know what I'm realizing? It's looking like there's a couple extra mines behind Sir Musket and Patrick's side. We've got the starting mines, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the other side you only have 1, 2, 3. So I'm gonna pause it real quick. Max and Black opponents start with an extra mine. Read or play. Alright, so alright. Oh wait, no. That's
Yes.
Max and Black. Sir Max and Patrick start with the extra mine.
Yeah, we have an extra one. Yeah, we'll just play through it.
Yes.
Yeah, That'd be a little bit funnier. Okay.
Are you ready?
All right, they're gonna play. I just want to make sure because it is a distinct advantage on that, especially if you're on defenders.
Yes.
If you're defending, if you only have basically they kind of only have 2 mines free. It's actually kind of this one mine right here is kind of in the middle of the map, so it slightly favors the left side, but not really. I suppose if they walled, it would be more safe. But anyways, it's basically you have this mine is completely safe, basically behind TC, and then this one, of course, is pretty comparable to this one, and then it's really just this one mine that is extra. And that can make a big difference depending on how the game plays out. If you don't have much map control and you don't have an extra mine, it's really rough. If you don't have much map control and you do have an extra mine, it can mean the difference between a win and a loss, actually. But yeah. All right, so this is Malicite co-casting. It is jailed casting. How's it going, Malicite? That was some at least entertaining games in the previous series.
So it's the nicest way to put it, isn't it? Look, I had fun. That's the main point, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really glad
and
you had fun.
Shout outs to King of Osmane real quick. He is my favorite player to watch, so it was fun to verse him for once.
Nice. Is that the first time you've ever versed him?
That's the first time I've ever versed King of Osmane. Yeah.
Nice. And you did it 5 times too.
Yeah, and I think that's enough for the next forever.
Yeah. All right, so this is we'll look at treasures picked up real quick. A bunch of so 50 coin, 40 coin picked up by Sir Musket and Max. On the other hand, we have 30 coin, 40 wood, 80 XP, 90 coin, and 135 XP. Some good treasures in there. I'm a big fan of XP, especially if you have a civilization that can send 2 shipments in age 1. You'll see who picked that up. Black Duck picked that up as Spanish. So he could send Eco Theory. He is on 300 food right now. He has a shipment and a half already. I think I'd probably send Eco Theory in a case like that, where you have that much of an advantage. You already have a TP. If you don't, you're going to have like 2.5, maybe even 3 shipments upon hitting age 2.
Yeah, I was just looking at the shipment sent as well. They're all pretty much copying each other with the straight standard play of the I always can never pronounce this one, the wood one. Distributivism.
You can just say wood trickle, or you can
wood trickle. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll look at the decks real quick. We see Spice Trade out for Russia. Otherwise, pretty standard. I mean, Spice Trade is fairly standard too. But India's deck, we don't see any water out from their side so far, or nothing in their deck. We do see Russia for Max Magus. He has somewhat of a water deck, so that could play into it. We also see, Max Magus has a water deck. We also see Black Duck having a frigate and 2 caravels, so that is an avenue for them to win. It's definitely favored for Sir Musket and Patrick to win. It's basically 2 majors versus 2 captains, basically. And it's definitely favored for Sir Musket and Patrick to win. But what we're looking for in this match, of all 5 games, is if Max Magus can pick up 1 or 2 games, they have a shot at making it into quarterfinals. And so that's what they're going to be focusing on. They do have a TP start out from Black Duck, really nicely done. If they can take water and not lose too much early, then they have a good shot at winning this game.
Yeah, and I was just looking at it's a rare sight, but there's a fort. There's a fort wagon in Max Mergus' deck.
Yeah, Fort Wagon, and he doesn't have the card that allows musketeers to build lost forts. I don't know if you knew this, but depending on which fort you have, you can actually increase the amount of forts that you're able to build. So if you send just the musketeers are able to build a fort, you can then build 2, and that's it. But if you send the fort wagon in H4, it increases the fort build limit by 1, so you can have a total of 3 forts out.
See, I didn't even know that, to be honest, and I play Russia a lot.
Yeah, so it's not something like usually you don't need 3 forts. 2 is usually enough, but you would be able to build 3 forts, so that changes up a little bit. We do see the outpost wagon is scouted out by Patrick. He does send the outpost. Black Duck sends the outpost forward, trying to kind of cover the outpost there. He does send his explorer back to try to deal with Patrick's explorer. We also see Sir Musket's monks coming forward, and the Sepoy. They're gonna siege down that outpost. We'll see if it goes up or not. It could be a big deal if it goes down. Certainly, if it goes up, it could go down pretty quickly. There's going to be a lot of HP lost on this. The Sepoy are going to do a lot of siege to it too. I think it'll probably go up, but it might only be like 400 HP or so.
Yeah, well, he also doesn't have any units in his H2 shipment, so even if it did manage to just go up, he wouldn't be able to ship any units immediately to protect it either.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's definitely looking like an FF from him. He could fit 1 more card in H2, but he's not. He has no unit shipments. Granted, as Spain in H2, H3, H4, outside of cannons, you have no ranged military shipments you can send. So you only have rods, pikes, lancers, that sort of thing. So they are decent, but having ranged units is also a really good, a nice thing to have also.
Just watching Strelets do what they do best.
It's sieging. Yeah, 7 siege on them. The Sepoy, on the other hand, have 22, so more than 3 times as much as the Strelets. They are sieging down the outpost. They're getting some raids in onto Sir Musket. We'll see if any units were lost. No units lost so far for him. And looking at the low villagers. Oh, it just about got that low villager. He focused that low villager, so really well done by Max Magus to take a look at the low villager. Is he going to do it again? Yes, he does! Nice! Oh. He was alt-tabbing and looking at the low villagers, and he picks one off. Really well done by him. You don't see that all the time, but really, really nicely done.
I was curious as to see where the aggro fort would go as well. I didn't see it being built, but I was wondering how far forward he would put it.
Yeah, fairly defensive, and it's somewhat surprising to see that. I think perhaps they were planning on doing something more eco-focused, and then they saw the opponent's decks, saw that there was Navy or Sea option for them, and they realized that maybe they need to go with Agra. But honestly, in 1v1, having an Agra is really, really common, even in close to your base, really, really common. So I think perhaps Sir Musket and Patrick are trying to play this a little bit more like a 1v1 than a team game, and in doing so, a similar build order for that.
Just looking, Black Duck, he's only just started getting military now, so he's... I think he was going for a fast fortress, because he was accumulating a fair amount of resources, but it looks like he's just swapped it to Hussars. They're just hanging in the middle of the map right now.
Yeah, maybe they thought they needed to get some units out. Wait, no, he's H3. My brain fart.
Did he? I didn't even... Okay, that's my bad.
No, he has a standard...
He aged quick.
Yeah.
I didn't say.
Yeah, he has the standard build order for at least 1v1 of 3 bills, 700 coins, 700 wood, 5 bills. That's pretty standard. He did not send Eco Theory first. He sent 2 Falconets, so he's going to be pushing pretty hard right now. One thing that you don't always see is if you have some sea cards in your deck, some warship cards, some schooners, things like that, your opponent kind of thinks that it's very likely you're going to be on sea. So they won't necessarily put pressure on you early. So we see that Sir Musket and Patrick did not put pressure. Black Duck was able to age. They have 2 Falconets out. This is a really nice timing push. They have 84 military pop over to 61, and the Falconets are extremely pop efficient. So that's really nicely done. Also, the Lancers are going to be really, really nice versus the armies that India and Russia can put out age 2. Speaking of age 2, we see that Sir Musket is on the way to age 3 with the ceasefire wonder, the Taj Mahal. That could play a big role. You get coin and aging up also. No Karnimata. That's somewhat normal to use Karnimata. Ceasefire wonder is the other option, of course. So I like seeing that out from them. Looking at the TPs, we do see that Sir Musket has the very bottom TP. Max Magus and Black Duck not going for that because it's pretty far out of the way.
I'm just keeping my eye on these Lancers up north, hoping they meet that Strelet mass that he's been creating.
Yeah, it's crazy. Look at the military units for you guys. 50 Strelets out from Patrick. 15 Cossack. Only 6 Sepoy out from Sir Musket. I'm really curious what Sir Musket's going to queue in age 3. He is age 3. Don't see any units queued yet. I'm guessing it's going to be... I have no... Oh, Howda in queue. Alright. You could have queued that early. I was guessing it was going to be Mahu just because of all of that. But he's surely sending a military shipment right now. Perhaps Team Urumi. Team 10 Thuggies. Does he have that in deck? He doesn't have that. He doesn't even have Team Urumi. So 7 Urumi though. On EP, the Team Urumi would only be 8 Urumi. So it's fine to just have 7. Perhaps having both would be a nice addition though.
Yeah, just looking at Patrick now, he's doing pretty much a very quick cab swap over to the Cossacks. He must have seen the Lancers and just stopped making Strelets and swapped immediately. All the Falcons.
Yeah, there's a lot of muskets out, though, for Max. As long as there's enough to deal with the Cossacks. It looks like Cossacks are going in on the cannons right now. The cannons are a little bit out of position. One of them is going to go down, it looks like. Or is he going to pull back? He pulls back right afterwards. The Strelets are out. Lancer is coming forward. The Falconet needs to fire on the Strelets. There's a lot of Howda out. The Howda need to take to fire on the correct units. Alright, now they're starting to get on top of the Lancers and the Hussar. But the Lancers are not on the Strelets. If they were on the Strelets, they two-shot the Strelets.
They're on now.
I believe, yeah, they are on now. But the ceasefire is called. Okay, so this is... Man, Max Magus and Black Duck, get on top of the opponents, man. You have ceasefires. Use ceasefire to your advantage. Get on top of all of them. All of those Strelets would go down. The muskets can deal well enough with the remaining Howda and whatnot. Few villagers and the Minutemen coming down. Still advantage over to Max Magus and Black Duck, I think. But it's really, really close now. If they use that ceasefire to their advantage, they would have been able to do a lot. 13 Strelets shipped out from Patrick. So Patrick is expecting to stay age 2, it looks like. He's not trying to age up or anything. He's recognizing that he needs to just he needs to fight here. Black Duck could get on top of those Strelets if he wanted to, but he didn't. You know, not ideal micro from him. It looks like Max Magus and Black Duck are pulling back. That Falconet's going to have to be lost if in doing so. Does get a couple of decent shots off. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
I just realized too, he shipped Advanced Arsenal like 3 minutes ago, so his Strelets have just got not much, but it's that tiny power up from the Flintlock and Paper Cartridge as well.
Yeah, he sent... Wow, I don't understand that. Why not send Boyars?
Does he?
He doesn't have Boyars. He has the card in deck, but he hasn't sent it yet. So Boyars is just better. It's just all around better than Advanced Arsenal. If all you're gonna, I mean, if you're using muskets, no. But if you're having Strelets and Cossack, which is what he had, then it's just 100% better. Update the score for you guys. Sorry for that. But yeah, how does our smart there? I agree. How does Strelet pretty good. But honestly, if the Lancers were microed well, I think they would have been able to take that fight. We do see that perhaps a better game plan out from Max Magus and Black Duck. They haven't gone C. That is a bit of a shame with their decks. If they were able to go C a little bit while doing this, they would have had a huge... They would definitely be in the lead right now. But you see the difference between majors and captains. Just the better micro out from Sir Musket and Patrick. And yeah, they're definitely in the lead at the moment. Militarily, 127 to 35. Economically, recalculated economic unit population. I don't know if you knew this, Mousesite, but you can click on the economy tab on the bottom of that whole window.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know. Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just making sure. Yeah. Recalculated economic unit population is 108 to 84. Yeah. It is H3 Spain versus H3 India. H3 India is really, really good. H3 Spain's good also, but definitely advantage over to Sir Musket and Patrick. That's a lot of Lancers out. Not enough Howda, I don't think. You need the Strelets to come up. They're perhaps not the ideal engagement. The Strelets need to take out the Howda. Focus the Howda, bud. If you focus the Howda, the Lancers could have done a lot. If the Lancers focus all the Strelets and the Muskets, then that'd be pretty nice, but they call it. Alright, GG. I think there was opportunity for them to win there. Yeah, there was opportunity for them to win there. That was really nice strategy out from Black Duck. He didn't use Spanish gold, which he was trying for a timing push, and I can respect that. If you are versus India and Russia, you go Lancers right away. You don't expect camels out. That's pretty much the only counter you have versus Lancers. Cossack, of course, are a good option, but H3 Lancers versus H2 Cossack. Lancers even win straight up fight between the two. So, yeah, well played. What were some of the highlights of that game for you, Malasite?
Oh, just watching the Strelet mass just sort of hold back once those Lancers and Falcons came in it was just satisfying to watch those Lancers and Falcons and the Musketeer Strelet combo from Max and Duck just basically walking towards Patrick's base as if nothing was in their way.
Yeah.
It's just a satisfying feeling knowing that if those Strelets come forward, those Lancers and Falcons are just going to tear them to shreds.
Yeah, definitely some opportunities for them to win there. You can see Max Magus and Black Duck actually had a military population advantage from about 8.5 minutes until 11 minutes 45 seconds. So if they would have been able to make that work, then that could have been really, really good. And of course, in that military population, it doesn't take into account that Strelets are super pop inefficient. So they had a huge military lead during that time for sure. But yeah, feels bad, man. Yeah, definitely. Reading chat a little bit. Yeah, no, I updated the score. Sorry about that. My bad. All right, so that is game number 1. This is match number 2. This is Sir Musket and Patrick versus Max Magus and Black Duck. Jailed casting, Malasite co-casting. And yeah, we'll get into the next game shortly. It is game number 1 taken by Patrick and Sir Musket.
When we were discussing that he didn't have Boyars, Max actually did have Boyars on, but he didn't have the advanced arsenal upgrades. You know what the difference was?
What?
4 HP.
4 HP?
The Boyars one was the identical to the advanced arsenal one, but they had an extra 4 HP.
Right, and then also Boyars affects the Cossack too. So
yeah, well, yeah, as well as that. But I was just talking about the Strelets. Yeah.
H2 Strelets versus how to need like 80 shots. Yeah, it's a crazy amount of shots that would be needed. I'm gonna get into spinning this real quick for you guys. We're gonna spin the map. It is Fertile Crescent. Map Fertile Crescent. And we'll spin the civs for you guys too. How to better than Russia. Ports and let's see, ports and Japan. Musket, Patrick, ports, Japan. And for Max Magus and Black Duck, let's see what it is. That was end of game number 1, Harrison. Japan and Sue. Black Magus.
That'll be an interesting combo if no one reads.
It was Japan Sue, right? That's what I said, right?
Yeah, Japan Sue, yeah.
And the map is Fertile Crescent, so it's not water. I'm gonna remind.
Bonus for Sue.
I'm gonna remind them you can choose who plays what civ on your or for your team. Yeah, it appears Black Duck's not super familiar with the map.
If you roll it 3 times, you'll become familiar with it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna grab some more water real quick. I already drank a bunch, but I'm gonna grab some more while we are waiting. Yeah. Go ahead and entertain them if you'd like.
Entertain them.
Yep. One second.
Well, with my suave Australian accent.
Yes. Suave Australian accent. I'll be right back.
Suave. I think it's ever been called suave before. So actually, I'm pretty unfamiliar with this map as well. So it is so it's 2 separate trade routes by the looks of it. I've actually never seen this map either. But sorry, just they take the respin right as jailed. They ask for it right as he leaves. What
Yes.
guys? Oh, and he comes back right as I say he's left.
I'm fast, man. All right, let me make sure you guys can still see this. Yes. All right, so they decided to respin. So it was Max Magus and Black Duck that won the respin. The map is Dhaka. And now I will do the civs. Civs for Sir Musket and Patrick, Iroquois and Musket, Patrick, Euro, Japan. And for Black Duck and Max Magus, it is Brits, Max, and Duck. Oh, Duck, Brits, Germany. All right. I think in this case, I don't know, this is an interesting matchup. This is not a matchup I see almost ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you said all the teams, I was like, sure. Powerhouse civs versus each other, and versatility from the Japan could just change what everyone plays. Just one Patrick alone could just determine what everyone starts using and how they play.
Yeah.
Depending on how he plays.
Iroquois and Japan, I don't think have a whole lot of synergy. Iroquois is really good, especially in 1v1 and 2v2. Really good early. And really good late, but their boom is pretty lackluster. Hi, Mino English. This is a play all 5. This is the play-ins, and your match score is going to affect your seeding for quarterfinals. So instead of having a best of 5 and some teams going, 4 games or 5 games and some going 3 games, we decided to do play all 5 so that it would more accurately get the seedings correct. Yeah. So Iroquois in Japan for Sir Musket and Patrick, and Black Duck and Max Magus is Brits in Germany. The map is Dhaka. I believe everyone is familiar with that deck. With that map, lots of different options on that map. Yeah, Iroquois in Japan. Okay, so because it's a water map, I think that Iroquois in Japan have a bit more synergy because it would allow Iroquois to go water and have a little bit more of an eco than they would otherwise. So that's probably good for them over Fertile Crescent. That's an advantage. I would say. No, map. Dhaka. They did get Sioux Japan Herbie, and then they re-rolled. They used one of their team rehosts for the match to get that. Did they use? No, they didn't use a. No one used a rehost for game number 1. Just game number 2. Hype. Goofy Goober has a hype. All right, we will let Sir Musket go to Dhaka. Iroquois in Japan. I think Black Duck and Max Magus are going to be happy with Brits in Germany. But Germany is somewhat lackluster on EP. There is some options. They could do an FF. Additionally, you could go something like DOPS or just do like semi-FF with Ulan or something like that. You don't want to stick with going Ulan too long, but they have options. They definitely have options.
Yeah. Normally we just see the War Wagon Skirmisher combo, but it'd be nice to see some what are they called, the Doppels? Dops?
Yeah, Doppelsolners. Dops is just the easiest way to say them.
Yeah, I actually, even on RE, I see them in Age 2 a lot, but once you go to Age 3, they just vanish, and then...
Yeah, early Age 2, they can be decent. They also late game, Speedy Dops can be amazing. But one thing that some people don't realize is they're one of the most cost-effective shipments in the game. If you take into account how much resources it's basically saved by sending Doppelsolners, it's one of the best those are some of the best shipments in the game. 3 Dops is basically 200 resources, but then you get 2 Ulans on top of that. So it is basically what is that? That is 1,000 resources for just the 3 Dop card. You compare it to the Ulans, you get 5 of them. That is pretty much also 1,000 resources, but certainly Dops are more pop efficient than Ulan, unless the Ulan are raiding or something like that.
Which is pretty standard for Germany's play, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Kaiser Klein, you're saying you should only spend your own 2 civs. Well, there is a lot of things that go into it. You could not like the matchup, of course, but you could also see that your opponents get really strong civs. So using a team rehost completely resets the map and the civs. You could also be a map that you don't like. So that's why we decided to go with that. You only get 2 per match though for your team, so it's not a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of rehosts during all 5 games.
I am curious to see what Germany will bring out against Japan and Iroquois, to be honest. Like in sort of a team scenario.
Yeah. Germany has some options. I still think an FF would be ideal. You don't know what the opponents are going to go for though. It depends a lot upon what Iroquois and Japan go for. All right, so this is game number 2 match number 2 of the 2v2 Jackpot tournament play-ins. It is Sir Musket and Patrick in Iroquois in Japan versus Black Duck and Max Magus in British and Germans. The map is Dhaka. This map has a lot of different options available. You've got whales, whales, fish. You've got TP line that is really important. You also have the Bhakti temples, and there is an upgrade in them that allows you to gather from berry bushes 40% faster. 40% faster is a whole lot. That's one of the best economic percentage increases in the whole entire game. There's a couple of cards that do that, such as the Aztec mining one that does 40%, but I don't believe there's anything that does more than 40% outside of capital upgrades. But yeah, we see that Iroquois and Japan spawn on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we see that Brits and Germans are spawned for them. Do you think we're going to see some water play here or not, Malachite?
I don't know, during the EPL we saw a ton of frigates and caravels and things like that in that middle pond, especially, but in the later games I've been watching, even just on like your channel and some other people's, no one really goes for the pond lately. I don't know what's changed, but it seems to have, the pond play doesn't seem to be a thing anymore, or at least in what I've seen.
Yeah, it's I've done it. I've seen it a few times. I've gone for it a couple times, but it is not very common. I think part of it is just decks. In a standard game, you don't always have like a rush deck with just 2 caravels, frigate. Those not everyone has decks like that, so I think that might be part of it. I don't know, but in a tournament game, you should be more prepared, and I think it would be really smart to have 2 caravels, frigate, something along those lines. We do know that Iroquois have 3 privateers, 500 coin. That could be really nice. Additionally, we do see 2 Funes out from Japan, or in Japan's deck. He also has 2 Atakabune.
Sorry, Jail. Apparently you're not on the game screen.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Why do I do that? I don't even...
That's alright, I did that the other day too.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me know, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, my bad. All right.
So I aim to please. I just looked at Japan and Germany's decks, and they're both running the 2 caravel, 1 frigate shipment.
Yeah.
And now British also. So they're all running water decks.
British has 2 privateers additionally, so that's nice out from them. Sir Musket, he has a card now. He should be choosing a deck really shortly. Why is it not showing?
2 war canoes.
Okay.
I can say these.
Yeah, 2 war canoes. 2 war canoes is interesting. It's interesting. I'll say that much. 3 privateers is a really interesting card. Native civs get 3 privateers. Every other civ, I believe, only gets 2 privateers in Age 2. So it's an extra privateer for the same cost. So it's something we see fairly often. Let's see what the place.
Might have been just when you swap screens. No, that wouldn't have done it. I don't know. I saw it too. It's just froze for a quick second.
Yeah, if it continues to be laggy, we can just have you share screen with me. Yeah, it is 1-0 currently for Patrick and Sir Musket. Take a look at the I can't look at the decks while it's paused. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I had that on the wrong screen. That's my bad.
I always did think that the Uruguay and Sue's naval was just a bit lackluster with that war canoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Aztec at least get that. I forget what it's called, but they get that bigger one, which can be devastating in groups.
Yeah, the Tlaloc canoe. On EP, you can only build 5 of them though, so it's meh. It's not amazing.
So it looks like we're still getting
Okay. Mm,
Yes.
Alright.
I did see. Yeah. Okay. They all.
Alright.
Okay. I'll just. Yep. No worries.
Yeah, okay. I'll share a screen real quick, so that's good to go. And I am sharing it right now. Go ahead and do that.
Letting me resign. Hang on. Can I not resign while it's paused?
Yeah, okay. You can resign. It's just gonna wait for it. When they unpause, they'll do it. You've resigned already?
Yeah, I've clicked resign.
Are you ready?
All right, and
Yes.
all right, there we go. We're back into it. All right, so this is for anyone just joining. This is the second game of the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. This is match 2, game 2 of the play-ins. It is Sir Musket and Patrick versus Black Duck and Max Magus. Malicite is co-casting with me. How's it going, Malicite?
Good. Just hopefully that fixed the lag. Me just leaving. Seems to have.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit better. Seems to be better for sure.
I was getting a red bar with Max, so.
Okay. Yeah. Additionally, the observer mode does the. Have you exited the game, by the way?
Yeah, I'm completely out.
Okay,
I
good.
need help.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Max Magus. Hopefully, he doesn't lag too bad. But yeah, it's fine most of the time. We do see an idle villager here from Sir Musket. That's a little bit of a shame that it's not registering as idle for him. He did just try moving it though. It looks like it's a little bit stuck. Man, this lag, that's a shame.
I guess it wasn't me. Yeah.
Yeah, just honestly, the observer mode adds a lot of extra what's the word? Lag
Strain.
potential to the game. But
Okay.
yeah, 2 observer modes just add that much more. We do see, as far as TPs go, we do see Sir Musket has built the TP. We see Max Magus is on his second. As Germans, that's really nice, and as Iroquois, that's nice, of course, too. All 4 players are aging up. We'll take a look at the decks one more time, if we can. All right, so we see Japan's deck has 3 fishing boats. I like that card a lot. It gives you an option to basically have villagers in age 1. Otherwise, just has warships. Fairly standard deck. We'll look at... Reading some of the chat real quick, guys. All right.
I don't even know what's going on in chat right now.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think they're just talking about Sir Musket.
Yes.
But all right, we'll take a look at Iroquois' deck real quick. He does have Water Dance and he has improved warships. He doesn't have any cards that upgrades his fishing boats though, so a good thing to pay attention to that there. Looking at Black Duck's deck, he does have advanced dock. He does have schooners. He has some warship cards too. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about schooners as opposed to some like fish market and whatnot. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's interesting for sure. Perhaps he picked the deck before he saw what his opponents had, and advanced dock allows you to at least defend on sea well enough and not be purged off of it completely. Looking around the map, we do see. Let's look at German's deck again. It appears he is not. Is he going for an FF? He might be. He does not have a military building out yet, as far as I can see. No, he does not have a military building. So does he? Let's look at the. He doesn't have any market upgrades on his villagers yet. Perhaps he's going to go for that. Some market upgrades on his villagers. He is starting to get that now. And he uses the age up wood to build the stable. Okay, so we know what's going on there. Black Duck, on the other hand, this is really, really bad.
Just Patrick laughing.
Yeah. It's a shame.
Oh, it is definitely Max. I was green with everyone but Max.
Yeah. We saw a hunt. A Nilgai was just killed inside of the mine. It's a shame. I don't know why that happens, but yeah. Max was green for me, but obviously if he's red with a bunch of other players, that's not going to work very well. Yeah, looking around at everything else, we do see Germans has walled some. It looks like maybe there's a bit of a hole there. We just saw the tiger kind of go through just a moment ago. Looking around, we do see the second TP coming out from Sir Musket. Neither player is on water. Of course, the 3 fishing boats sent by Patrick, but outside of that, no one has gone water yet. Yeah, pretty passive game so far.
It's good to see that wall in the middle, though.
Yeah, at the very least, it directs raids, and on EP, the H2 walls have half the HP of as on RE. So they don't do a whole lot. It gives advanced warning. You're not going to be surprised. But yeah, it's just a little bit of wall there. I do like it too. It allows you to focus on one area of the map and kind of not forget about the other area, but not be as concerned about it. So looking at it, it is 8 Ashy out for Patrick, 13 muskets, 4 Ulans out from Black Duck and Max Magus. Sir Musket has not made any military units yet. Looking like an FF from him, he almost has enough coin to age up, just a little bit more, and he will be able to do so. Yeah. So this will be interesting for sure. We'll see if Patrick and Sir Musket can take all 5 games off of Black Duck and Max Magus. This is a much closer game, much closer PR than the previous match. There is potential for a couple games to be taken, or at least one game to be taken. It is basically captains versus majors. Well, we'll see if they're able to do it, though. FF out from Iroquois. I think I like that. You recognize that your opponents are not rushing. If you do an FF, you get the ability to make Forest Prowlers. Forest Prowlers are generally considered the best skirmisher type unit in the game. Yumi are strong contenders also, but they're definitely the top 2. There's other really good units too, such as Abyss or Cassador, different things like that. But for the cost, for the population, Forest Prowlers are really up there. They have 22 range fully upgraded, and they can get incredible stats too. We see a really good push coming in from Black Duck here. Lots of muskets, just a few Ashy out. So 7 Ashy, 20 muskets, 3 Ulan out from the opponent. We do see the Minutemen are just called, and that's well done from them. Yeah, so Minutemen push it back. You just kite. Black Duck kiting really well despite the lag. You see the Iroquois War Chief just use his ability, getting some of those muskets low. There's still some Minutemen and the Ashy out. We'll go back to shipment sent, see if anything important was sent, like the irregulars. He does not have them. Basically, the Colonial Militia card. I forget what it's called. It might be called irregulars for Japan, but yeah, he's got irregulars out at least. Does not have a whole lot of military units though. Japan's the only one with military units. Iroquois, he is H3, We'll go to units and queue. See, confirm that he is making forest prowlers. He is indeed. He's
I'll
also
admit,
going on
as
C.
an Iroquois.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
As an Iroquois player, it is very satisfying to go straight for the forest prowlers instead of staying in H2 and trying to fight with ANs and tomahawks.
Yeah, for sure. There's better options in H3. Aina and Tomahawk are pretty good units in their own right, but Forest Prowlers are just so amazing. Extra range. It allows you to do a lot. They're very, very easy to kite with also, compared to the Aina and the Tomahawk that kind of have a attack animation and not as easy to kite and micro with. We do see that Sir Musket is on docks. He's got some fishing boats already out. Looking at his deck, he does not have any fishing boat upgrades, but he does have 3 fishing boats. That's interesting. Perhaps if... I don't know... I don't know why he has 3 fishing boats. I mean, you're going to send 3 villagers more than before 3 fishing boats, basically always. I guess if he was going to have a long age... one, but I mean he built a TP, so it was pretty much ideal situation to build 2 or send 2 cards in age 1. Got a lot of lag coming in. It's a shame. Hopefully this game doesn't last too long. We'll see how it happens though. Yeah.
It's a shame if this doesn't work. This is a really fun map to watch too.
Well, we're not gonna like give anyone a win just because of lag.
Stranger didn't lag for the first game though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's lagging. I don't know. We do know that Patrick and Sir Musket are from Australia.
So am I.
Yeah. So.
I promise I'm not in there.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yes.
Alright, we'll try to... Well, hopefully we can get it. It'll be better for game number 3. But for this game, yeah. So we have War Wagons out from Max Magus. Black Duck aging now. Taking a look at the economy difference, despite Iroquois going fishing boats, we see that the economy is 89 to 85 in advantage of Black Duck and Max Magus. That's just the German settler wagons and the British manor advantage there. Shrines do play a role for sure, but we see that Patrick is only on 11 shrines currently. The Toshigo Shrine is 20 pop, TC is 10 pop. You just do the quick math, and 11. Getting his 12th shrine up just now. These fishing boats don't have any upgrades on them, so they're just the standard. I believe it's 0.6 base gather rate from whales. His villagers gather the same gather rate from mines. I forget what the fish are, but it's just base, obviously. He doesn't have any upgrades in deck, and he does not have any upgrades from the dock currently. Well, look at text being researched, see if any are coming in. What upgrade is that? Oh, no, wait. There we go. Alright. So, back to shipments sent. Pretty close. We do see Germany on a second TC. He's the first of the game to go on a second TC. That's I like that choice. Up here is it's really important to hold that. And we do see a dock out from Black Duck also. He's starting to go on C. Sir Musket is definitely ahead on C. Iroquois, honestly, Iroquois is a lot stronger on C on EP than they are on RE, because every civ on RE gets Admiralty except for Iroquois. I believe they're the only one that does not get Admiralty, and Admiralty was majorly nerfed for EP, making it that it just makes some text cheaper instead of allowing you to have a lot more units. So they aren't negatively affected by that nerf across all other civs. And then he doesn't have the card in here, but there is an Age 4 card that gives like 20% HP to War Canoes. It's a card that you don't see very often. I do like the choice to have frigates and canoes in the middle lake, though. That's really, really nice there. We'll see, and I like the outpost there too. Kind of defend those warships. I really, really like that. That's a really good choice by them.
Good to see the pond playback.
Yeah. Yeah, the outposts are going to keep them safe too. We'll go to line of sight, see what can be seen. I'm not sure they've seen the outpost. They might have seen this one right here, but they haven't seen the other one, I'm pretty sure. And so if warships are shipped to that lake, that outpost will do really. If warships are shipped to that lake by, say, Patrick, the outpost will do a lot towards helping those, helping the warships of Black Duck and Max Magus do a lot. We see the economy is now slightly in advantage of Patrick and Sir Musket, 128 to 119, and military population is also very, very close. It is 103 to 90. The muskets, I think, were just upgraded by Black Duck. The cannons doing a lot. Flaming arrows are so good versus ships. You see 2 shots, and that ship's almost down. That flaming arrow got hurt a lot, though. If they get a dock, though, and repair those ships, that could be really nice. That flaming arrow, they should finish off that frigate. Is he going? Oh, he pulls back. Oh man, he had a chance to take out that frigate there. And he's still going to, I think. He's going to take out the caravel first. Is he going to take out the frigate on top of that? Just one more shot from the flaming arrows will do it. Flaming arrows are ridiculously good versus ship. It's kind of it's really ridiculous, honestly. They have a 7 times multiplier. Compare that to a Falconet only having a 3 times multiplier. Big difference there for sure. We do see this battle coming forward, though. The frigate picks off the other flaming arrow. Both of the flaming arrows down. Really good micro from Black Duck and Max Magus. That was really important. Having 2 Falconets and the frigate still up is going to allow you to take this fight, though. Really, really nicely done from them.
Yeah, just watching that frigate just constantly creep forward, constantly creeping, just trying to get that flaming arrow, and then just got it, and then you just see it rush straight into the Asties right as he kills that flaming arrow.
Yeah. We do see that the dock of Black Duck is taken out. Sir Musket now has complete control of C, but maybe enough has been done. The economy is very, very close, 137 to 133. And we see that Max Magus, does he have the upgrade? He does have the upgrade, 40% faster gather rate on those berry bushes. So he's got a lot of villagers on that. That's what a big reason why they have as much of a military or economic, as much economy as they do. They're going to need an answer to these flaming arrows, though. That is 5 flaming arrows out. There's some cav there, but they're not going to do a whole lot. They pretty much just get cleaned up. Jaeger's out. That's really nice. Gonna need those war wagons on those flaming arrows. I think you just pull back, though. Pull back to the pond. Caviar outpost out. The frigate, it'd be really. He is building a dock. If that. Oh, it goes down. Oh, if he had just pulled it back just a little bit earlier, he would have been able to heal that up. Let's look at their decks though, see if they have other options. The Black Duck could send a frigate. That'd be a nice choice. The Flaming Arrows are just so strong though. I don't know that it's going to make much of a difference. We do see an Artillery Foundry out from Black Duck, so Paraballs are very nice. They have a 6 range advantage over the Flaming Arrows. That'd be really nice for them to clean them up with that. What were you going to say?
I was just watching him build that Artillery Foundry. I'm like, he's going to have to get that up now and get those culverins out of there now. To try and compete with these, like, Flaming Arrows that are almost at his doorstep.
Yeah, the Jaegers are really nice, but they're not very effective versus cannon. 40% range resist is one of the reasons why they're so strong. But Flaming Arrows, artillery, ignore range resist of infantry. So that's, you saw the volleys there, how much damage they did. The culverin have to get out ASAP though. That Artillery Foundry might go down before culverins pop. It's going to be really close. I think I'd like to see some musket riders out here from Sir Musket, or maybe some tomahawks. So yeah, some tomahawks, good, because they need to have enough anti-cav. That's so many flaming arrows. It's good to have that many flaming arrows, but you need to make sure that you have you can deal with them well enough. The War Wagon's in on top of the flaming arrows. If they can take them out well enough, that could be really, really nice. That is only 5 flaming arrows left.
Trying to counterpoint.
Yeah. War Canoe is also out from Iroquois. The outpost not firing on them. The dock does go down. Some Ulans coming in. No anti-cav left pretty much. Those Ulans could do a lot. The flaming arrows were not focused very hard. A bit of a shame. If they had, I think they would have won this fight decisively. The canoe is now firing on the War Canoe. Those should go down fairly quickly. Looking good for them.
This engagement did start well for Sir Musket's team, but look at it now. They're just being pushed completely back just because they have no anti-cavalry.
Yeah, that War Canoe is really close to going down. He's got to get... Oh, it barely gets the Forest Prowlers out in time. We do see the Forest Prowlers walk through the gap in the wall there. But it looks like, yeah, Black Duck and Max Magus take that fight. The Cav just kind of pushed the Forest Prowlers away. That's the biggest reason. They didn't have enough anti-Cav. Sir Musket and Patrick did not have enough anti-Cav. I do really like though that Black Duck and Patrick have the berries over here. It's really, really big to have that. I'm pretty sure fishing boats without any card upgrades are not as good as villagers on these berry bushes. And while there is a limit to both, there's a whole lot more berry bushes than there is fish on the sea. So the old saying, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Not so much not so much in this game. All right, so we see Falconets out from Black Duck here. The Artillery Foundry was taken out on originally, but a new one put up on the top. That's the only military building of its kind up there. So interesting out from them. We do see Patrick going towards the natives. They see that the opponents have a couple of the natives. They want to take those out. So really well done by Black Duck and Max Magus to pay attention to the map and being able to take advantage of those berry bushes.
Oh, just looking at that, the Ashies at the villages. 4, 5. He's got 7 so far.
Yeah, those villagers, that's rough. They need units over there ASAP. The Cav and the Muskets do pull in onto them. It looks like no one is aging currently. Perhaps the next one to age would be Sir Musket, but we'll see what he does there. Some of those actually cleaned up, but the other ones are in on the berry bushes. Not a whole lot of units out from Sir Musket. Thanks for the follow, Muffy. Appreciate you a lot. Appreciate all of you. The Falconets in onto the Forest Prowlers. It looks like the Tomahawks went into cover mode real quick to try to not take as much damage from the Falconets, but they're pretty much cleaned up. I'm really liking this. The few Ashy, they'll be cleaned up by the Minutemen over here, but Sir Muska, Patrick lost lots of his Ashy on raiding. It could be good. He got some good value out there. You can see the economic difference there, but he did lose a lot of his military in doing that. So military advantage is over to Patrick and Sir Musket now. Over to Black Duck and Max Magus. Economically, still really close, but slight advantage over to Patrick and Sir Musket.
Also, during that engagement, I did just see Black Duck, I think it is. Yeah, Black Duck. He shipped a frigate.
Oh, he
it
did?
must be on the... Yeah, he shipped a frigate, so I think he's trying to take back the water or something.
No, I think he shipped it...
I don't know, I saw a frigate come in. I was very confused as to like where it was.
It probably came here or something. It must have... Oh, wait, you know what probably happened? Let's see, Black Duck, where's Yellow's flag?
Yeah, there it is.
It's right here. So, he, I guess it was taken out by some of the canoes. It looks like they were firing, yeah, based on their position, it looks like they fired on a frigate. But, yeah, flaming arrows are both kind of cannons and anti-cannons at the same time. They're a pseudo-Cole Falconet type of unit. But 28 range is good, but not as much of a Cole as a Cole. They're weak to Cole, but pretty good versus Falconets and the horse cannons. You see that there. They take out a couple of those Falconets.
Oh. Facts just getting stuck on their own units there.
Oh, look at those Hatamotos. 3 Hatamotos. Those can, if they're going to connect with the cab, are they? No, they're not going to connect with the cab. They pretty much won't shut the cab. They will take out that Culverin, though, I bet. Let's see what happens there. Falconets come in onto the flaming arrows. A little bit better micro could have been done from both players there. Actually, the Cav don't take out any of the flaming arrows. They could have gotten 1, maybe 2 there, but they don't do that. The Ashiko were out of position, but end up cleaning up those the Cav forward there. The Ulan coming in on the Forest Prowlers. That's pretty big. They are age 3 Ulan. Everyone's age 3. Germany just hitting age 4 in just a moment. Ideally, you would not be fighting this here. Just back up a little bit, upgrade your troops, and then fight. I like the choice of having an artillery foundry, but it's way out of position. Like if it was over here somewhere, it would be able to be used a lot better. Catamarans being trained from Black Duck. Look at that. A little bit of fighting. You rarely see docks and ships being trained out of them on the little lakes there. So that's really interesting to watch. Looking at this fight, yeah, not enough cav. They need more cav. If they have a really good batch of cav, there's more Ashy coming in. Tanya Horseman coming in too. We'll see what happens with this fight. This is really close. This is definitely game deciding. We see, I'd say Patrick and Sir Musket are definitively in the lead right now. 131 to 80 military pop. Those flaming arrows just doing a lot of work. They would need to have coals onto them to do anything of worth. Do you see the Hatamotos cleaning up villagers? Kanya Horseman getting on top of them too. That's a lot of villagers that have gone down. Let's go to units lost real quick so you guys can see that. 30 villagers lost by Black Duck.
30.
16 villagers and 4 settler wagons. So effectively 24 lost by Max Magus. On the other hand, 2 lost by Patrick and none lost by Sir Musket. It has lost a fishing boat, but 1 fishing boat. Whoop-de-doo.
Do we count those?
I don't know.
Especially when they're unupgraded.
Yeah, we do see that there's some walls coming back behind the little lake there, and we also see that this is broken through by the Ashy in on Max Magus now. I think, getting back to this fight, it looks like, oh, the Kanya Horsemen clean up a lot. They clean up all of those cannon. That was some excellent micro from Sir Musket. Really well done there. But yeah, that was pretty close game. Black Duck calling it. They've lost enough villagers. Yeah, I agree with that. They had some really close fights though. I wouldn't say they're any position in a decisive advantage, but they were ahead a little bit, I would say. Yeah, so we'll cast the rest of these series just with me, just to ensure that the players are as lag-free as we possibly can get with the matchups and a single caster. We'll look at some of the post-game stats there for you guys. We see, yeah, just better combat XP out from Sir Musket and Patrick. Look at some of the kill-death ratios. What was some of the defining points for you in that game, Alisite?
Right at the end, that very last play with the Falconettes, the Kanya just absolutely just cleaned them up. But if they didn't, they had a clear line of sight on all those forest prowlers that were just sitting there.
Yeah, for sure.
Go
ahead.
Oh, sorry, and also the frigate just creeping on those the first two flaming arrows that were sent from Patrick. You just constantly trying to stay out of range and just get that little pot shot off every chance it got, and it eventually did, and just turned the whole tide of that little battle that they had.
Yeah, we do see, looking at some of the post-game stats, despite Sir Musket having the most villagers and close to the, tied for the most villagers most of the game, you see that his resources was pretty much always behind. And that's due to having pretty lackluster fishing boats. Looking at the military unit population as a team, we see that Black Duck and Max Magus always had the advantage pretty much from basically the onset of the game really until about 23 minutes into the game. And those flaming arrows doing a lot of work. If they had culverins with their army, I think those fights would have gone differently. And if they did, then that whole game could have gone differently. I don't think they were behind economically, really, a little bit, but not enough to be super game deciding. But well played from Sir Musket and Patrick. They take that game. This is Black Duck and Max Magus have a chance to take a game off of Patrick and Sir Musket. We'll see if they do it though. All right, we'll get into the next game very shortly.
Do you want me to try and rejoin it, or?
Nah, we'll just do 5 slots, man. It's when doing tournaments like this, if it's laggy, even if it's not as the other caster, we just go with one caster just to ensure that there's everything we can do as casters to keep it as lag-free as possible. But yeah, this game will be casted by Malicite with us, and the next game will be Harrison. Harrison will be in for game number 4 and game number 5. Really good games here, guys. Stay tuned for some amazing matches. I'm gonna randomize the map for you guys, and randomize the civs for you guys too. The map is going to be Baja California. Map Baja California. And now we go to the civs. I know you can't really see this. Sorry. Not on site, but Aztec and Hero, Musket, Patrick. For anyone, how much do you want to bet they're gonna reroll?
Yeah.
France and Brits, Duck and Max. All right. Yeah, needed walls, OP walls. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm waiting for one of them to say re.
hey, TRG AOE3. Yeah, it was actually really close until the raids. It was about a 10 to 15 difference on the military. Okay, they're going to use the respin. Yep.
Yeah.
It was about a 10 to 15 villager difference on the recalculated economic unit population. And with the berries on that map, they're so strong. Almost all the fish were out of the. We're already cleaned up, and and there's whales, of course, but they had no cards in deck to Russia and Germany, Musket, Patrick, and then for Duck and Magus is Sue, Duck, Max, Sue, France.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think an semi-FF with France into skirms could be really good. But yeah, it's Germany and Russia. Those are really good early game civs. So we'll see what happens. Really fast age into 4 acts being first card, or possibly with XP shipments second card. It could do a lot. Yeah. Yep. All right, getting back to the game. I think the players are going to be okay with these civs. Sue and France, both teams has a rehost available. Both have used one. Gonna remind them that the map is Cascade Range. And time to look at spinning wheel for next 15 minutes. Yeah, I got off of it. Sorry, Fuffy. I try so hard. It's yeah. I changed it, Herbie.
As I don't feel bad, I did that on Monday night. Left it on the bloody starting soon scene instead of the game scene.
How long did you leave it like that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes? Dang, man.
Yeah. Oh, I felt like an idiot.
I've done it for like 30 seconds, I think, as far as the starting soon kind of screen. Yeah. All right, waiting on the map to be selected, and then we're going to get into it. It is Germany and Russia versus France and Sue. Honestly, though, okay, Germany might go DOPS here. I think if you're going to go DOPS, a matchup like this is where you would. But there are options. If they don't go DOPS, if they went just the standard like Ulan and Strelet versus France going Cav and Sue going Bow Riders, that's just kind of an automatic win for Duck and Max. So something's going to happen. We'll see what happens, though. I'm really curious. Both teams have FF or semi-FF potential. We'll see if they use it, though.
So this will be the second time we've seen Patrick on Russia again as well.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping he doesn't just Strelet mess like he did in the first one, as like the Sue will have an easy counter to that with the Axe Riders.
Yeah. TRG AOE3. Each team during the match gets 2 respins. And it's completely re-hosting, basically. You respin the map and you respin all 4 civs. So yeah, this is game number 3 between Patrick and Sir Musket. Patrick, Sir Musket, and Black Duck, Max Magus. The map is Cascade Range. Yep, was joke. I'm glad you guys missed nothing. Russia, Germany probably stomped Sue, France. If you went with the standard units and team, France Sue would win. So it really depends on what the teams go with. I think we're going to see some Somewhat unusual or very interesting build orders from at least one of the players. Germany could do an FF. France could do a semi-FF. Sue could go Seatonbows. There's lots of options available, but I expect someone to change it up.
Let's see a revolt. Let's go.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
won't.
yeah. India bought. I agree. The matchup is pretty fair. It's really interesting. It's not a matchup I think you'd see almost ever, but it's really entertaining. That's why I love this format for the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. It's you see matchups you don't always see, and it's going to the best team doesn't or the better higher PR team doesn't always win because there's there's a lot of luck involved. That's the meaning of the jackpot tournament. I'm glad you like this tournament setup, Fuffy. I'm really glad you enjoy watching it. Yeah, there's a lot more games to come, man. This is just the play-ins to start with. Yeah. So getting to the map, we'll make sure it's pretty fair. It is 1, 2 mines. All right, so 1 mine in the back, and then yeah, the mines look good. Haunts look pretty good. Pretty fair map generation. We've been really fortunate today having really fair map generations. I like that. I'm very happy about that. All right, yeah, Nat Rush plus Axe could win. Yeah, that's a good point. France going natives would be really nice. I didn't even think about that right off the bat. But yeah, on this map, there's pretty good natives, and France, of course, is an exceptional native civ. You could argue that Iroquois have better natives, but France has better eco. The Iroquois have better infantry natives, but France has better has a better eco. So you could argue that they're the better native civilization, if you will. Either way, they're both really good. Yeah, that could be interesting for sure. I expect one player to definitely have an unusual build order. I'm curious what it'll be, though.
What's the natives on this map again? It's Nootka and something else, isn't it?
Nuka and Clemeth. Yeah, sorry. I forgot that you can't see, but or you're not.
Yeah.
You're watching my screen. Clemeth are basically a skirmisher type unit. Nuka are basically a pike unit with less attack, higher HP. They only have 30 siege, which is fairly low for a pike type unit. They have, I think, 220 HP base. It's fairly high HP. And they also, their attack is fairly low, and I believe it's only a 2 times multiplier versus Cav. So they're somewhat weaker on the attack, but pretty high HP and decent siege too. If you have a bunch of them, the TC fire does not do a whole lot versus them. So yeah.
Well, I know the Nookers have that one tech that allows the explorer or hero to train a chief from it, which is it can be so annoying to verse sometimes, just in like little explorer battles and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. You have to research the tech, and then you also have to pay for the war chief, if you will, Nuka war
It's
chief.
expensive, yeah.
So it's not something we see all the time, but yeah, we'll take a look at the decks real quick. We do see Germany. I think that's he has the church card. Okay, so he could go Speedy Dops. He has the H3 Dop card, does not have any H2 Dop cards. Looking at Russia's deck, not a whole lot there. France's deck, he doesn't have native cards. He has the Wilderness Warfare, but that's fairly standard to have. He doesn't have team ranged infantry attack, interestingly enough. That's really good even in a 1v1. 15% attack on all your musketeers and skirmishers is really nice. We see Sue's deck here. He has 3 TP Trading Travois. I think perhaps he didn't tailor the deck for this map, but I mean, it is on EP. The natives do give XP trickle, so it's worth something. And then Sue, native civilizations, due to the fire pit and being able to do a combat dance, have a fairly decent. They have fairly decent natives just because of that alone. So that is an option. He doesn't have the card that makes all infantry 10% faster. That would be interesting to use on the clubman. We do see an FB coming out from Patrick here, Blockhouse, and Black Duck with a barracks on the other side. So kind of they passed each other like two ships in the night, and they're an outpost coming out. Interesting. You don't always see that, an outpost being built by France. Alright, so we see that the FBs are beyond each other's FBs. We see that Patrick's is on beyond the FB of Black Duck, and Black Duck's is beyond the FB of Patrick. Neither Sue's got a corral up at home and a stable up at home for Sir Musket. We do see 700 wood shipped second by Sir Musket. That's unusual. He's not going natives. Why send 700 wood first? Or first in H2? I don't know. It's perplexing. We do see that the Expo are kind of being caught out here by Sir Musket and Patrick. They do make it out though. Why are they not? I guess they're not wanting to fight under the outpost. See what happens here though. That's really interesting that they FB'd like that. That's also an interesting outpost. It's right by the berries, so his villagers can actually gather there. He could have sent his villagers back. He's definitely committing to that forward base though. Definitely interesting gameplay out from them. It's looking like so barracks out from France. You don't always see that in 1v1, 2v2. It's definitely more common. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be crossbow and bow riders out from their team. So a little bit unusual play for team, but I like that. We do see the bow riders coming back to clean up these Ulans. They're not going to get any kills. We'll go over to units lost real quick, see if any villages have been picked off. No villagers yet so far. Cossacks being covered too. Crossbow coming out back now. Going to try to cover that. Double blockhouse out. I like that choice. I like that choice a whole lot. Really cements that position. Gonna make it so that your opponent can't go back very well. These crossbowmen are just going to go down to all of that too. And his CDB, one goes down. Second one goes down. All right, no, two CDB down for Black Duck.
Did he just not catch that?
Yeah, he didn't catch it. They're Ulans. They went down really fast, but yeah, I didn't catch that. I like the choice to add Axe Riders here. That's a really good choice, I think. Just keeps your Russia honest, making sure that he has to build enough strelets, or build enough muskets to cover his strelets. He can't go pure strelets versus bow rider crossbow. And he is indeed building some. But it also, on top of that, if he catches catches Ulan or Cossack, they will slow them, and they're much more effective at defending raids. Looks like Cossack cleaned up a villager, and bow riders are going to defend. Let's see what happens here, though. This is really, really odd positioning from both teams. I'm really curious what's going to happen. I think if one... I don't know. So the one thing to note is the siege advantage. Because in a position like this where there's a potential base trade, the siege advantage can play a huge role. Muskets have high siege. Strelets, crossbow don't. Ulan, Cossack have decent siege. Axe Riders have pretty good siege, but bow riders don't. Lose a couple bow riders, that's a shame. But he's doing a pretty good job. Well, I was going to say, he's doing a pretty good job covering raids. But yeah, Caster's Curse there. Ulan doing really well just raiding. Cossack too. Let's see what happens here, though. One villager down. Okay, one villager down. Should also clean up the crossbow and the Ulan. The Minutemen also called there. A couple bow riders coming to try to clean up the Ulans here, but that's not enough. That's not enough at all. Yeah, gonna need more than that out. Let's looking at units lost. It's only 3 CDB. Okay, now it's 7 villagers. 7 villagers lost for Max Magus. 8 for Sue. That's pretty rough, losing that many villagers. He does have more bow riders out though. He should be able to defend this well enough. And okay, so it's not a base trade. We see that Black Duck is sieging down houses. He has some pikes there. Nicely done. Does he have enough crossbow to engage this fight, though? I don't think so. He's going to need to pull back. He does pull back. And he's waiting for the bow riders and the axe to come back. So it's not a base trade. It's just somewhat of some of the base coming down from Black Duck. But they don't exactly have defender's advantage anymore. Not having a stable. Does he have no stable out on the map? He's got no stable out. He does have some docks. He does have some fishing boats. But no military building on the map for Sir Musket. And with the defender's advantage is actually in favor of Black Duck in a way. You have TC fire. But you also have the barracks and the outpost closer by. This is interesting. This will be really, really interesting how this plays out. If he doesn't lose the crossbowmen too hard, it looks like they're taking this fight. Are they? They are. But the crossbow are just running away. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there. That's a shame. It's been really nice to communicate that well. The armies were really close. The crossbar kind of caught out at this point, honestly. Instead of the wagon goes down. Nice pickup from them. But they're going to need to do something with this. He's going to need enough pikes to defend his crossbow from Cab. And then he's going to need to trade off. Maybe he might just trade off right here. Send the pikes on taking out that other house. It is pure musket versus pure crossbow, though. So the crossbow would trade definitely somewhat well. I'm talking a whole lot, Malicite. Feel free to butt in, man. I'm sorry about that.
It's your channel, your cast. I'm just sort of letting you do your thing, really. Alright, so the crossbow doing a lot here. Really good micro from Black Duck, honestly. He's done a lot with that, and he doesn't even lose them. Man. Alright, so let's take stock of the economy and military. It is 80 economy out from Patrick and Sir Musket versus 47. So they have a really big timing window about right now where they have a huge economy lead due to all of the fishing boats. We'll look at the economic unit, see how many he has. He has 14 out. That's not huge. I guess it's also Russia, just the Russian bills, and of course the raids out that onto Sioux and France. Got a few idle villages here from Black Duck. Oh, we saw those crossbows cleaned up. The Dops come in on top of them and slow them down, so the muskets clean them up. Really nicely done. Those Dops so slow, but they are able to do some work there. Yeah, I like that. Must admit, I've never seen Ruskets last so long against crossbowmen.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he was spamming a lot of them out, a lot of reinforcements. He did lose a decent amount, but yeah, crossbow not ideal. Ruskets also not ideal, but okay. All right, so we see Black Duck and Max Magus both aging. Sir Musket still age 2. I thought, for some reason in my head, I thought he had aged, but he obviously hasn't. This is going to be a rough next couple minutes for Black Duck and Max Magus. They both aged. We'll go to military units, see how many they have. It's just 8 bow riders out. If they don't lose too much, if they don't lose too many villagers, they could do okay here.
But you can't forget that Buttercup that they have as well. Clutch.
Buttercup?
The cougar.
Oh. My wife's Twitch name is Princess Buttercup, and so I thought you were saying something about that. Yeah, her name. Yeah, those. I'd like to see either axe or rifle riders. No more bow riders. I think rifle riders could be a really nice choice here. Rifle riders and skirmishers, but we're still seeing stable units from both of them, so not going to do that. We do see Wakina rifles are shipped. Let's go back to shipment sent for you guys. 9 Wakina rifles. He's doing really well picking off the muskets. But it looks like, oh, the TC goes down. Villagers going down there. That is rough. Oh my goodness. The economy from Patrick and Sir Musket is just double. Despite the age advantage over to Black Duck and Max Magus. Perhaps they shouldn't have aged there. I don't know. But yeah, this is looking like it's game over for Black Duck. Okay, they call it. Yeah. They had some good advantages in that game, but yeah, Patrick and Sir Musket just edging them out there.
Yeah, GG. I can't type it, so I'll just say it through the cast.
Yeah, GG. All right, so they take game number 3, 3-0 for Patrick Sir Musket. You guys see that despite them winning, there are opportunities for them. I really, really want to see them take a game off of Patrick and Sir Musket just to make it a little bit more. They're fairly close games until just the edging out of economy or whatnot. Yeah, we'll look at some of the post-game stats for you guys. All right, so you see the units killed there, units lost. It's pretty close in all reality. Combat XP. You see Patrick just taking that by landslide. That's a lot of it to do with taking down the TC, though. Looking at resources gathered, we see Patrick and Sir Musket just have that much more. We'll look at villager population for you guys. Yeah, just those raids doing a whole lot. The raids, I think, were what told that story more than anything else on that game. All right.
Before or after you cursed it?
What?
The raids before you or after you cursed.
Oh right, yeah. I think I said it about right here. So I was like, yeah, Max Magus is doing really good catching those raids. A couple villas lost, but not too bad. It was like 2-1 at that point or something, or 2-2 or something. But then they lose a bunch, and yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that was a interesting game for sure. That we see the age 2s beat the age 3s. Really good game out. And we're gonna get into the game number 4 shortly. Let me check something real quick. Yeah. All right. Due to Harrison's going to join for game 4. Thanks so much for joining, Malasite. I appreciate you a lot. I just appreciate co-casting. I'm going to be casting for a total of about 6 hours today, so I just appreciate you throwing any words you can in just so that I don't have to talk quite as much.
I didn't do much on that third one, I'll admit, but you seemed too excited, I just thought I'd let you go with it.
Yeah.
But I will happily pass the baton over to Harrison now, because it is 2:45 in the morning for me.
Have a good one, man. Get some good sleep.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me join you. It was fun playing in the game earlier. It was fun joining you for the co-cast.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll be in the chat still, most likely.
Thanks. So. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah, all 5 games played, 4 play-ins, Herbie. And you were asking IndiaBot. It is a best. So all the other matches in the tournament are going to be. All the other matches in the tournament are going to be best ofs. So quarterfinals, semifinals are going to be best of 5s. The finals are going to be best of 7, but because of the play-ins being played and then the seeding going to matter for quarterfinals, I wanted all 5 to be played so that we could get more accurate seedings. Harrison has just joined in the call. Harrison, do you want to join the game the game, or do you want to do screen share?
We'll find out if I can get in the game. I certainly would. If not, it's no big deal.
Yeah, Black Duck and Sir Musket say they're cool with having you in slot 6. See how it goes.
Well, what can I say? Sir Musket is my best mate of all mates in the world. What can I say? He would love to have my company in the game, and watching Sir Musket games, pointing out all of Sir Musket flaws is what I live to die for. What can I say? I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. So Kaiser, it is the plans are play all 5. I already explained this, but maybe you haven't heard it yet on stream. But the plans are play all 5. Quarterfinals are best of 5. Obviously, since it's a bracket, having a play all would be only for the viewers. I mean, it'd be kind of pointless after someone wins 3. We're gonna randomize this map real quick for you guys, and it is Manchuria. And I'll do the civs also.
I've been watching some of the Le Mans action. You know how the whole COVID world has turned sports upside down. There's a massive virtual competition going on, just like we're having a virtual competition, but for esports racing, and watching with about 50,000 people, cars going around in a circle. So if you think that's entertaining, nothing compared to this RTS strategy game here. So taking a little break from the 24-hour stream, coming over to lend my hand to JAILEDaoe. I was watching bits of the game here and there. However, I got my full attention for the next 2 games.
Killer Crichton chat says, "Where's that sexy British boy at?" So here you are.
I don't know about sexy in terms of appearance, but I've heard people say my voice is certainly tantalizingly tasty.
It's tantalizingly tasty. Yeah. All right. So we have the civs that were rolled. It is Sue and Dutch, and then also Japan and Ports. They both have a reroll available, or a rehost available. I'm curious if they're going to use it or not. I don't think I would as either team here, though. Sir Musket and Patrick on a water map. It's nice to have one of those civs. They're definitely more kind of boomy civs, though. Black Duck, Dutch has the potential to boom hard. Sue on EP, yes, they can boom decently hard, but not compared to Japan, Ports, and Dutch. Those are just top tier boom civs.
Yeah, I think the Portuguese has opportunities for the 2v2 water because you're on a team map. There's much more water present, more fish, more whales, more resources for you to go for. Also, the trading route is longer, so you could go for a second town center on the northern side, go for the trade route capture if it's the 3 TP spawn we see in the top right picture, and maybe play with it's just a little bit weak on this kind of team map. However, big map, lots of raiding potential. They can cross the map very quickly. Unfortunately, when you're playing civs like Japan and Portuguese, well, Japan sits in base and Portuguese with 3 town centers, I'm not expecting them to lose many villagers from Sioux raids. And it basically will be up to Dutch to carry the day, but I'm feeling the civ advantage really strongly for Musket here.
Yeah, I'll let you chat a bit more. I'm going to grab some water. Lots of casting today. I really want to make sure I drink enough.
Oh, what a big mistake. JAILEDaoe leaving me in charge of his stream. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what flaming I can do while he's away. That's Musket. Oh, he's a terrible player he is. Patrick, also equally terrible. Black Duck, the worst person I've ever seen. And Max Mogus, God's gift, the greatest player, even better than Lord Raphael and Kaiser Klein combined. I was watching the previous series, Malachite and his private partner, or corporal partner. I tip my hat to you guys. Fair play for sticking out and smashing through the games. If I was sat there thinking, me, first lieutenant / captain, playing a brigadier, major general is pointless, then certainly playing with a lower rank is even more one-sided. But at least you guys enjoyed it. I think we all enjoyed listening to JAILEDaoe's voice as well, so it certainly wasn't time wasted, and just sets us up for this exciting game between the Muskets team and Black Ducks team. And what are the team names again?
They've just gone with the standard. I think.
Yes.
Let me look. Max Magus and Black Duck might have picked a team name. Let me look real quick.
How about some Muskets team? I'm going to give them the name right now. The Australian Budgie Smugglers.
Wait,
Yes.
Australian what smugglers?
Budgie Smugglers. If you don't know what it is, type that in Google.
Budgie smugglers. Okay,
I
I don't know if that's something I should type in Google. I don't know you.
It is safe for work.
Okay.
But it's borderline.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, so it's like Speedos, basically.
Yeah, printed Speedos. I've been to Australia, and it's when I say it's a fashion icon out there, it really is. And a funny story actually is that during dinners and like kind of balls and events, for some reason, all the guys at the end of the night, after all the drinks, beers, been drunk, actually just get up on stage and like whip off their suits into Budgie Smugglers. I was just stood there as an international student with all the other people going, "What the fuck's going on? I'm not doing that. No."
Yeah, I think we're all greened up in the lobby. Real quick, since you asked Private Snowball, and we're not technically in a game right now, I am a custom carpenter. I do custom furniture, cabinets, and the like. You can ask me if you're curious about it. Ask me a little bit when we're not in the middle of a match, and I will talk to you more about it. This is game number 4 between Sir Musket and Patrick, Black Duck and Max Magus. The map is Manchuria, Japan Ports versus Dutch Sioux. I don't see this matchup very often, and that's one thing I really like about the 2v2 Jackpot tournament. You see matchups you don't see always. It's random civs, random maps. It's lots of potential for some very interesting things to happen, and that's what we see here. The map is Manchuria. It's pretty open map. A little bit of cliffs on one side, but doesn't usually make much of a difference. See on the other side, there is 6 whales. Yeah, 6 whales. A couple natives, Zen Temple, and Shaolin Temple. The TPs can spawn behind the players or between, or behind or between. In this case, they spawn behind. We'll take a look at the map, make sure it is a fair map generation, looks to do so. Do you want to introduce, or do you want to talk about the sim matchup a little bit, Harrison?
Well, you're the 2v2 team experts here, but we were talking about it in the lobby beforehand. We're suggesting that the civilization advantage is going to Patrick and some Musket, Japan and Portuguese, very strong boomy civs, and on a map like Manchuria with livestock which help your Japan shrines. You have Portuguese spawning on the coast side of the map so they can have easy access to the water. Safe trading route behind as well. Options available. I think this map spawned with the 2 TPs behind the trading, behind your starting town centers, actually benefits Black Duck's team. Dutch can ignore those, and it's an easy 2 TPs for the Sioux to pick up and not have to contest a Portuguese advanced trading post. I think it's still Sir Musket team favored in terms of matchup here. The Sioux will find it very hard to raise Japan and Portuguese. Japan have all these villagers in base on their cherry orchards and double in base silver mines for all players, so hard to raid those. And the Portuguese, we know, age up bonus, extra town centre wagons, so more garrison points, more places for villas to garrison and defend. It'd be hard to raid this, and oh my god, Orchard Ritual being caught out, but I wouldn't worry too much. What I would worry is his own yak's blocking, and currently his own yak is blocking at the moment, and this could be a blunder, but should get in and does build up. Cherry orchards, very useful for scouting behind your base. but do have a lot of HP though, and importantly now, because that was under pressure, he had to drop the cherry orchard in front of his town center, which is usually a big no-no for Japan.
Yeah, for sure. That was so close. We saw that Max Magus was trying to get in front of it, so to prevent it from going down. We saw him doing that a little bit. And if he had paid attention there where it stopped and he had gotten in front of it, it would have been really, really clutch. If he stopped that going down, that is 5,000 worth of resources that would have been lost, that Japan wouldn't have been able to gather. And that would have been huge. That could have been game-changing for sure. Looking at Japan's deck, he does have the 2 cherry orchards, so he could have sent that later, but he would have had to send it so much earlier. Kind of a wasted shipment. Just from that age 1 aggression, if you will. So that's really clutch that he was able to get that down. That's that could have been a huge advantage over Max Magus.
It might be a case that Samusket plays a lot of 1v1s, and in 1v1 you can be a little bit more freer with your cherry orchard. 250 HP is certainly a lot, and it's good scouting. It can move forward, and it can also pick up yaks, which I find an interesting design choice, but the cherry orchards could pick up the yaks. Yaks spawn in the middle, very important in terms of your eco and how this plays out in this map. We can see there's loads of yaks already in Samusket's base, about to position himself onto the Sugar Shrine, but in 1v1s, it's very hard to take down that cherry orchards. If that was a 3v3 and 3 explorers on that cherry orchards, I think we would have seen a cherry orchard having to be built somewhere out in the middle of the map, which would have been quite funny to watch and could have come into play later in the game. It's certainly better to throw it down randomly than to lose it.
Yeah, and if there was 3 explorers on it, like in a 3v3 like you're saying, you could even theoretically block it from being placed. We know that we've seen in some 3v3s, I don't know if you guys watch my stream much, but if you do, see sometimes that India Agra isn't able to be placed because it's so big, and if you get a few explorers around, also had a game uploaded to YouTube that we took down just with explorers, took down a TC. I don't know if Daniel's around, but Daniel EK, we were able to take down his TC just with explorers. It was pretty fun to do. But yeah, we do see Doc out from Patrick. Looking at the decks, we see Patrick and Sir Musket both have pretty heavy C decks. That's kind of surprising. In a 2v2, I don't feel like I would want to do 2 players heavy on C, or at least heavy C deck.
Okay, so first of all, the matchup, I feel that versus Dutch, who likes to sit back and stay in the base and get a nice greedy FF to the third age in a matchup where we're not feeling pressured, countering that with a eco play yourself with the fishing, that makes sense, especially versus Sue, who can't really get onto the water. I need to say though, big point in this game, Max Mogus with his converted Black Panther did scout this dock to the southern side, and obviously checking the Portuguese deck, you can see that your first cards are either Schooners or Eco Theory, unless you're saving it for H2 kind of a rush or a straight FF by sending multiple crates straight away. So he does know that the dock play is happening, but there's no real way to deny it. You see how Black Duck's maybe not the most familiar with counter water play at this moment, sending 3 Vil 700 wood. This is a greedier build option for Dutch at the moment, but that's absolutely fine. About to drop down another bank, but if you're building your own bank and the Sioux is getting trading post stagecoach, then the Portuguese player is free to go fish booming and won't even need to make any caravels. So it looks like Black Ducks opting to go for mid-map forward base to try and pressure the Japan player in Portuguese. Otherwise, it could be a eco war, which is going to spiral out of control and in the favor of Japan and Portuguese.
Yeah, looking here, I'm sorry, I wasn't on shipment sent. Looking at Portuguese deck, it's curious that he doesn't have 600 wood. I think that is something that he probably should have in his deck, especially if you're going C. 600 wood is just really, really nice. Even if you're not focusing C that much, it allows you to build a bunch of fishing boats without gathering a bunch of wood. So that would have been nice if he had done that, but he doesn't have it. On the other hand, looking at Black Duck's base, we see only 2 two banks out from him. He's trying to get units out fast. They do take down a villager. That is one villager down. Well, let's make sure that's the only one lost. No, he lost 2 villagers. Sir Musket has lost 2 villagers in all. And so only a few units out, but doing a lot early. We do see a market out. Bank Wagon comes out now for Black Duck. So Black Duck has he's going enough eco, but he is trying to put pressure really early. We see that out from Dutch and Sue. I like that choice. Definitely versus these civs, Japan and the ports. You got to put some pressure early. I don't think there's any other way about it.
So you saw how Age 1 we were talking about that cherry orchard, and that being in front of the base. You're up against Dutch skirmishers, 20 range in the second age. These guys can stand so far from the town centre, but take pot shots at your villagers. No great coat / Eastern medicine just yet for Sir Musket. These villagers are very vulnerable at the front, and you can see the amount of villagers were in the town centre from gathering the silver mine, the cherry orchards, and a few were gathering from the forward trees, which I really dislike. What I also dislike on the other side, though, is Max Mogus just going for the bot Sue option here, going for bow riders, but you've already got skirmishers to help, but you're up against Portuguese and Japan, and it feels that Japan desperately wants to go Yumi archers to try and contest the Dutch skirmishers, and at the moment, the military population is so far in favour of Black Duck, but they can't reuse it because they haven't got the hand cavalry, and finally, in comes 4 Axe Riders.
Yeah, that was a shipment. 4 Axe Riders come in. You're right. Japan and ports, while ports could make a stable, that's something you see fairly often from them. That's not what they went with. He has built some Axe Riders though, so it's the opposite of Caster's curse. Your Caster's luck. I wish I was you, Harrison. But he gets the Axe Riders out, and that forces all of the Yumi and the crossbow to back off. Some muskets are out now. It's a decent amount of muskets. We see it is just a single barracks, but he shipped 6 muskets. It looks like he got 2 batches of muskets out at the same time. So that is enough to dissuade the Axe Riders from coming forward. But yeah, I agree with you. Axe Riders and skirmishers are a better composition right now than that many bow riders.
They really have to press his advantage now because Patrick, 2 town centres, 2 docks with schooners, double pumping villagers and boats. Schooners also reduces the train time, so you can see how those boats are just pouring out into the ocean, and that eco is just quickly getting larger. So Musket squeezing in 2 trading post stagecoach, which I really dislike as Japan here. I don't feel it's needed. I don't feel it feels very greedy, especially when you haven't even got a wall in front of your base and losing villagers to skirmisher raids. I felt Sir Musket could have played it slightly different. Having said that, though, the team have stabilised with the Yumi Archer mass and Portuguese musketeers, pushing back the aggression from the Dutch and Sioux player. And behind this, recalculated economic population of about 100 to 75. They are in the lead, and it does show on the battlefield for the military population starting to grow for Sir Musket. There was a big lead for Black Ducks, but they haven't used it, and allowing Sir Musket and Patrick to push out the base, but they're walking back to their base. They don't want to push out. They just want to play the eco game and play as greedy as possible, and actually want to bait the Sioux player to come into the base and potentially get trapped by Japan clubman, which is going to happen right now.
Yeah, for sure. It would be really nice if they something that Black Duck and Max Magus could do is send 2 caravels and 2 war canoes. If they were able to do that in conjunction, they might be able to just at least idle all the villagers for Sir Musket and Patrick. They wouldn't really be able to push onto the docks, not with the TC there. But yeah, just as I say it, I guess I have the caster's luck this time too. Caravels are sent. Really nicely done there. More skirmishers coming out. I like skirmishers. We look at the H2 comparison. It is 100 HP, 20 attack, 18 range for the Yumi archers. The skirmishers have 120 HP, 15 attack, 20 range. And so they also, for anyone curious, Yumis have the same rate of fire as skirmishers, and they have a slight attack animation, not really much of any. But it's definitely really close. Yumi become a lot better than skirmishers later on in the game, but H2, they're pretty comparable in all reality.
So Musket has sent, what is it, 600
Are you
coin
ready?
twice, but I don't see where 1,200 coin worth of resources have gone. He is training a batch of Naggies, may have actually tributed a little bit of resources to Patrick just to help get the age up in. I didn't see that, but so Musket, 2 batches of coin, going into Nagi Nata Riders to go Nagi Yumi, Nagi to block from the Axe Riders, and these Yumi Archers just going to tear through Bow Riders as if they're nothing, and they fall down, and each time a Bow Rider falls, there's just so many resources going down the drain for Su, which they really can't afford to lose, and it's such a shame. Colonial Warzone, Yumi Archers, they could send Yumi Archer attack, which is 20%, much better than Dutch's infantry attack, and these guys, even Colonial actually, are just pushing, single-handedly pushing back this army from Dutch and Su. Patrick going to the 3rd age, ready to send Dragoons behind and kind of further solidify this Yumi Archer mass. I think Patrick's team is in a very nice spot.
Yeah, definitely very nice spot. 110 economy versus 87. So it hasn't really led to more of an advantage. We see that the Caravels just doing really, really nicely there. The 2 Funes out from Japan are able to defend, though. So it's not going to be more villages going down. More fishing boats going down. We do see shrines going down. Really nicely done. Just take out what you can. We do see that Sir Musket is on 170 pop, which means that he has 14 shrines out. Portuguese in age 3, Dutch just hitting age 3 right now. So this game is close. Definite economic advantage over to Patrick and Sir Musket, as you would somewhat expect in this situation. But with the age 3 skirmishers, they have the military advantage. We'll see if they're able to make it work, though.
Yeah, they're trading very nicely now because they have the veterancy. Nagi Nata's pushing in from behind to body block from the Axe Riders with the Cav HP. Now that you have the Bow Riders behind the line of Axe Riders, Bow Riders not being targeted by the Yumi, but also munching down the Nagis very, very quickly. And you can see now that they have that 3-unit competition of the Axe, the Bow, and the Skirms, the Vet Skirms may add as well, they are pushing back in behind this as well, so that's really nice. The water play, I would really love to see Max Mogus send in 3 privateers instead of 2 war canoes. I think 2 war canoes does not achieve the results he really needs by sending a water car like that. It feels lackluster, but no matter though. Axe Riders on top of the Yumi Archers. I'm seeing +11s go everywhere. Military population 95 to 60.
Yeah, it's huge advantage over to Black Duck and Max Magus militarily. Economic advantage over to Patrick and Sir Musket, but it is not enough to decide the game right now. This is a game where Black Duck and Max could take it. We do see that H3 is even between Patrick and Black Duck, and then Sir Musket and Max are both still H2. I'm really liking this from Black Duck and Max Magus. The military advantage is 42 to 80, while economic advantage is over. If they can really snowball this military advantage and really do a lot here, they might come away with the win. This is a really good chance for them here.
You need to recall though, look at the town centre, 34 villagers in the town centre for Sir Musket. That is eco not working and not helping Sir Musket defend here, but you have this massive army underneath the Japan town centre, and that is just the benefit of pushing Japan. All the villagers are gathering near the town centre, so if you push the town centre, they can't have a hunt at the back of the map they're secretly gathering from. 2 coin mines in base, that's where they'll be gathering coin, and Musket's eco is stalled, not really making units at this point, and there's still a decent mass of skirmishers in the base. Bow Riders trading alright versus Colonial Musketeers, but it's the skirm mass which is keeping Musket in the town centre. Musket is falling behind very quickly, and it all rests on Patrick, who's had to send a defensive frigate into the pond.
Yeah, this is crazy. So we see, why are they backing off? Why back off? You have enough Axe Rider and Bow Rider to deal with organ guns. Don't back off. Why are you backing off? I don't understand.
I like that they're backing away from Portugal's town centre to prevent any overcommittal. However, if they stay near Sir Muskets, and you talking about that skirmisher 20 range poking down that front cherry orchards, so Musket's now getting back to gathering, but all those villagers were just idled for such a long time, and I think Black Ducks, they looked at the score. I think Black is feeling pretty comfortable. The Dutch player is going to the industrial age behind this with a shipment. Probably going to send 1,000 coin aging up with the coin. That could be Church Mercantism for the XP, double Factory, as well as heavy cannons coming as card number 3, or the Tulip Speculation, and just play it safe and sensible from there on. There's been some really good annoyances on the water from Black Duck. He's killed so many units of Patrick. Patrick losing 27 boats, and that is pretty disappointing because there's no outpost or town centre in the middle of the map over here, which I've seen played so well before by players like JAILEDaoe.
Yeah, that is really man. I feel like they should have pushed their advantage there. They had military advantage, huge advantage, and with all the bow riders and axe, those organs would not have been able to really engage. But they decided to pull back. They still have a decisive advantage at the moment. As you were mentioning, score-wise, it's really close, but Sir Muskets has made it in the last few moments. Gained about 20-25 score advantage over Max Magus. We do see Black Duck H4 though. If he can get those those guard skirms out, he is doing so right now. That could be really, really big. They're going to need to have enough to deal with the possible flaming. Well, not even flaming arrows aren't a possibility because Sir Musket is H2. Sorry, more organs possibly coming out. Is there an artillery foundry? No artillery foundry out from him. So it's only 2 organs here. So yeah, they're at a decent. Oh, also, Max Magus is aging quick to H3. He's going to be H3 and H4 versus H2 and H3 with the military advantage. It is 108 population to 121, but with the upgrades, they're going to have a decisive advantage there. Are they going to be able to push it or not? The economy, definitely advantage over to Patrick and Sir Musket. We'll see if they're able to hold here or not, though.
You can see how Sir Musket's able to remass now that Black Ducks basically allowed them to come back into the game for free. Now pushing out with the Dragoons, Patrick is just to try and get a bit of a lay of the land and raid in, but you see where the entire Sioux army is because you have line of sight for the shrines, and Dragoon's going to move in to cut off Bow Riders. Dragoon with Dragoon Combat versus Bow Riders double H2 carded, but not vet upgraded just yet. Good trade there for Patrick, picking up a few units. Big fight though, starting to come down, and Maggie now! Oh, the skirmishers! Oh no! Jailed, it's all going wrong here, it's all going wrong completely.
Oh, completely wrong. They're completely caught out. They have heavy cannons coming in from the back though, so if the bow riders can get on top of those heavy cannons and keep those from going down, the skirmishers are actually moving back. They don't have the church card on them, so they're not going to lose. They're still fairly fast. Those bow riders coming back are, if they are able to protect those, take out those Naganatas, those skirmishers and heavy cannons could do a whole lot. And the Naganata pull back. Oh!
It's not too bad. It's Guard Skirmishers versus Colonial Naggies running back to a big massive bow riders. I think we can breathe a sigh of relief. Black Ducks in a decent position now, and they stabilise underneath their forward base. And all my heart skipped a beat there, but equal military population. But Black Duck, great eco behind this, but great military strength will be pushing in afterwards. Patrick going for a huge raid through his Dragoons, but this could be go time for Team Black Duck to push into Japan's base for the second time.
Yeah, it is important to note that the mobility advantage is over to Patrick and Sir Musket right now. They have Goons and Naginata, so, and the Goons outmass the bow riders in and of themselves. He's getting the age 3 bow riders right now, so that's really important, but yeah, the mobility advantage, they could outplay this. They have the potential to, but really, Japan's just aging now. So he just spent a bunch of resources to age up. This is their window. This is their window to win the game. I hope they really try hard, but let's see if they do it. That was so close. Oh my goodness. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Well, on a slightly more relaxed note, let's take a trip down to Harrison's Eco Corner. What is Patrick doing here? Building 3 plantations while he has the entire sea to himself, whale oil, rendering plant, fishing boats with the long lines, and 6 whales are available. This is a definite misplay. It doesn't feel like a misplay because you're always thinking like, oh, you don't want to throw units, but deciding to invest into plantations when you have the fishing boats for... You have the fishing boats there, it's free coin, ready to be taken, and then you can make some mills on the land, and that will make more sense, because the fish will soon run out. But that's enough for me muttering about eco, because things like that it's a little bit of knowledge. Once you know that knowledge, you can change your gameplay up and then get better results. But now Black Duck's sitting on the Sugar Shrine in base town centre. This is where all Musket's villagers are. Did send 2 chariot horses to the back of his base, so could actually pull all his villagers from the town centre and continue gathering.
That's what he does. Caster's luck for you, man. One thing to note is that Patrick just put up an artillery foundry, and he has culverins in queue. So perhaps he was wanting to get a lot of coin incoming so he could do that. Has he even scouted that? Yeah, he has scouted that whale, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, look at this big raid at the back of the base. Naginata's Colonial just wrecking through Max Mogul's villagers. There is the market, but there is no spirit medicine, which is cheaper for the Sioux civilization. I don't think that mattered too much because Max is so focused on the push. He doesn't need the eco. This is his military. He needs to keep Black Duck, Skirm, and Callan safe and let this do the talking and smash through what Japan has, because behind this, Max is looking a little bit weak.
Yeah, looking weak for sure. Oh man, I would like to see more heavy cannons out, honestly. That was 2 heavy cannons that were shipped. If he had like 4 heavy cannons, he would be able to take down buildings a lot faster. Do see the TC from Japan out. He has no TC left on the map right now. Bow Riders engaging with the Castor, that's really bad. And the Naginata are in. They are still age 2 Naginata, getting in onto the mills right now. Lots of villagers there that they could go after. Go back to the fighting. This is all over the map right now. This is really, really close. The next few minutes should decide the game or not.
But there are 4 culverins from Patrick. These do one-shots the heavy cannons. Black Duck has pulled back the heavy cannons as he has seen that though. Does he need heavy cannons? Not really. He has a lot of guard skirmishes trading exceptionally well versus Veteran Dragoon and Veteran Castles with no upgrades on them whatsoever. His skirmishes are just going to push through what these guys have, and actually looks like Patrick is going to vet Hussars as a priority because the Bow Rider mass from Max is going down a bit. These Naginatas, they just have no right to be at this side of the map. Raids in a Sioux and a Dutch player. Dutch have Raiters, Sioux have Bow Riders, and these are just Japan expensive tab, but they're getting so much value from it.
Yeah, it's man, I don't know if it's gonna matter or not, because if they decisively win militarily, which they are right now, if they decisively win militarily over the next few minutes, then it could be that they could win. But all these villagers losing gives a win condition over to Sir Musket and Patrick. I don't think they had a very strong win condition before that. Now they do. You see that the economy is almost double for Sir Musket and Patrick. But military advantage is definitely over to Black Duck and Max Magus. It is up to them to push this through and make it count over the next few moments.
Yeah, it's 80 guard skirmishes versus just the stuff that the other team have. But it's these Naginatas have actually gutted both of the other team's ecos. Like, it's not even like, oh, they got a few villagers here, they're good raiding. This is just some, just too much multitasking going on, and it's just an easy raid for some Musket to move his Naginatas. And don't look at the units lost in terms of villagers. It is very brutal to see, and it's. I feel that if he protected that raid, just killed off at least 10 of these Naginatas, the game would be in an unwinnable place for Musket, but the game is.
I think you might be lagging just a tad bit. It was cutting in and out on Discord, and also seemed to lag in the game at the same time. Hopefully it can be dealt with. But yeah, I agree with the choice not to send Bow Riders back. You need your Bow Riders there. You need to make sure that you have enough anti-cav for all those skirmishers and hand cannon and whatnot. And a big fight coming in now. It's really close, but there's too many skirmishers are sieging. Half of the skirmishers are sieging. If they fight, they can do it here. There's only a few Bow Riders. Cav coming in now. A few Reuter there too, though. Oh my goodness. This is really, really close. Those guard skirmishers, though, versus the... Yeah, Naginata coming in from the back. Nata coming in fully... Oh my goodness, this is the game. Oh, this is the game. All of the army's getting cleaned up. They're not going to be able to rebuild it. This is so hard to watch. They could have won this game. Oh my goodness. Oh, they call it. Oh, man. That was
I feel the
their game to
pain,
lose.
brother. I feel the pain. It was in their hands multiple times, but it didn't happen. And you can focus down Hussars with skirmishers quite easily, but Naginatas though, bit different. Much more HP and 30% range resist. These guys tank so much. And after Max Mogus's Bow Rider mask got whittled away by Patrick's Cassadors, it just left the soft underbelly of an 80 skirmisher population. It was 53 at the end of the game there, but it was skirm heavy. Cav combat did come in, but no Reuters support from the Dutch player, and 3 barracks pumping skirmishers, but there was just no anti-cav there, and that was unfortunate ending. So sad, isn't it? I was hoping for the free run.
Yeah, they could have taken that. I think perhaps in that position it would have been really good for Sue to say, all right, build a batch of halbs, and I'm going to go back deal with those raids. That's one option. The other option is that they just put their villagers right by their TC. I mean, if they had put their villagers in their TC, they wouldn't have lost them. They would have been idle, but that's better than losing them. It at least doesn't give a strong win condition over to Sir Musket and Patrick. But yeah, man, the economy was close, definite advantage over to Patrick and Sir Musket, as you would expect with Japan and Ports versus Dutch and Sioux. But it was close. It was close enough. And with the military advantage, I really like the age timings out from Dutch and Sioux. They made really good advantage of that. But oh my goodness, that game, they would have been able to take that. They could have taken that game.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of when you're playing against higher rated players, you have that sense of cautiousness and sense of kind of like just overwhelming dread, if anything. And they're kind of thinking, oh, I could push in, but they might clean us up because they have something planned, because they have these tricks up their sleeve. But we could see if they were in their heads. And when they backed off, when the Dutch player was aging, I think the fact that the Dutch player aged up, got guard skirms, it was good. I feel that you could sit in the base, still age up, sit in Japan player base, still age up, still put Japan in the curve and kind of keep him out of the game, and then you might lose quite a lot of your skirmishers, but you're basically taking one person out while yourself are going to the 4th age. And just that raid, you could see how the raiding from the Naginatas just cut off the reinforcements and the eco to reinforce, and just there was no more cav mass. A big batch of elite dog soldiers moving across, but it's a hand cav, and at 25 minutes, hand cav, I mean, okay, it worked for Musket's team, but it was needed those elite bow riders and Reuters, which just didn't come.
Yeah, I agree with you. That was a really defining point when they pulled back and they aged instead. I think honestly, if Dutch hadn't aged and just spammed a bunch more skirms, I think they would have had that game. I don't think there's any way they would have lost that game. There was no artillery foundry at that point. The 2 organ guns were out, but there was basically no military from Patrick and Sir Musket. And Black Duck and Max Magus, I mean, it's a lot easier to look in hindsight and look, even not in hindsight, I said that, but it's a lot easier to say that as a caster and you see the whole screen. Obviously, when you're a player, you don't see what the opponent sees. But it's, oh man, they had that game. They had that game.
If you look at the military population team stats, you can check at about minute 16 or minute 15. That's where Dutch was pulling back out of Japan players' base because he'd done the damage, aged up, get the tech. He could have stayed there. He could have pulled back. It wasn't game losing. You look at something like minutes 22, more population, stronger units, but the eco behind. Look at villager counts, team stats, 85 down to 53. So lots of raids there from some Musket. Individual doesn't look much better. Sue losing 18 villagers in a single raid alone, not training many villas afterwards because the in-base resources weren't there. Same with Dutch, losing 16 to 18 villas there. And at that point, you can kind of tie that to the military population. It just falls away with no real reinforcements. There were reinforcements continuously for the other team, but when you cut off the eco and cut off the reinforcements, then it's just these units eventually trade away. And so Musket, with the golden play again, disciplined Nagi riders. We always say Japan, strong Ashi, strong Yumi, great infantry in general, but it was their cavalry this game. Tanked the damage, moved in and crushed the skirmishes when it needs to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was a crazy game. You hit the nail on the head with the points. Looking at the team stats of, they didn't lose the game, but they could have won the game when instead of pulling back. And they also, even at 22 minutes, like you were saying, they hadn't lost the game at any point there. They had a decisive advantage there, but that was a rough game. Well, we'll get into game number 5 shortly. That is game number 4 going over to Sir Musket and Patrick. I'm really excited for game 5. That was an excellent game 4. We could see the game 5 being just as good. Max Magus and Black Duck have an opportunity to take a game off of Sir Musket and Patrick. What would that would be crazy if they took game number 5 off of them. It's really hard in a situation like this as a player to feel positive after being down 0-4. But yeah, we'll see if they can do it. I'm going to spin the civs real quick. Go ahead and talk whatever you want to say, but I'm going to spin the civs for the next map and the map.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move the chat from... Ooh. Just turn on the Twitch chat and realise there's a 2-minute delay. Just hear myself in my mid-speech analysis, but I'm just turned to mobile internet chat on my phone, taking the chat off desktop there, so splitting the internet responsibilities across my phone and PC. That was a really good game there. I think we've already talked at length about most of the ins and outs of that game. I don't think losing all your games makes you feel bad, as long as you can say that I played well and you enjoyed yourself. And I'm sure Malasite Killer quite enjoyed their games earlier. But I think Black Duck there, he'd be sat there thinking, damn, I lost. I should have won that game because I was in a good position. However, considering my experience, let's say, I had a good game there. Max Mogus, he's really a good player, but maybe got given a civ he's not fully familiar with. But if you're playing a team game with a low eco civ, I feel that's a very challenging situation. I was playing with you before you went to bed last night. I was early morning for me, Spain on Cascade Range, and when I had run out of gold, I was like, what do I do? I've got no eco, I've got no resources. How do I get back into this? And it felt similar situation for the Sioux player. It just the eco was the weakest of the other 3 players, and just he had that military mass, but then just couldn't stick with it, keep reinforcing and supporting his Dutch teammate as well as he could. So you say it's random civs. Did Black Duck get Dutch again?
Yeah, it's no, he doesn't get Dutch again. It is Spain Russia versus Euro Auto. So some heavy rush civs there. Spain it isn't always considered a super heavy rush civ. Their FF is really, really strong, but Euro Auto, very, very heavy rush for sure. You can see either something like all of their units are good early on. Euro could go Tomahawk, which would be most likely. Ina is a possibility. Kanya Horsemen, while you ship them, you don't usually build a whole lot. Ottomans could go Abyss or Janissaries or Cav. I would probably most likely see something like Tomahawks and Cav or Tomahawks and Abyss. On this map, probably Tomahawks and Cav. Max Magus and Duck. Okay, they want to respin, so they're going to respin. I respect that choice. Versus Iroquois and Auto, I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, I'm with the respin there. Like, that's assuming if they can play most of the other civs relatively well. If I was given Russia or Spain on a round civ, I'd take it out of the fear of being given Japan, India, or Aztec civs I've never played and don't really want to play, to be honest. So that's the kind of the iffy situation there for me. But those civs versus Otto Eero just felt scary. You could go age 2, kind of both players going for forward-based wars, but Spain, I guess you go Han Cav Hussars in the second age, but that doesn't really help you get into the third age. You have a slow age up to the third age, so you're kind of stuck there. Russia can't really they don't do that well playing defensively, waiting for Otto and Aero to push onto you while you're letting your Spain player age up behind. That felt like an awkward matchup, and it would have been very interesting to watch. I gotta say, I think it would be more interesting if Black Ducks team had the Otto Aero and Sir Musket had the Russia and Spain, but they go for a respin. And you're suggesting that Patrick is Germany, and the other one is Max and Ducks, Brits, Germany. There you go. Wait, was it a double respin?
Double respin. Technically,
Oh, wow.
you can use all 4 respins on the same map. Like your opponents use 2 and you use 2. But they go for the respin. Black Duck and Max want their civs first. Okay, I mean it doesn't make a difference, but I can do that. I will do that. Eero and ports. Duck and Duck, Max, Eero, ports. And for Musket and Patrick, spend them now.
Wait, was that a double respin?
It was. Wait.
I'm getting confused. I'll leave you to it. I want to sit back and check out how my boy Lando Norris is doing at the Le Mans 24-hour esports race.
Yeah. All right. So we have Spain and Sioux versus Iroquois and Ports, and neither team gets a reroll. So, yeah. Neither team can reroll at this point. Both teams have used all of theirs. I think I like Iroquois Ports here more, but it's close. It's really close. The thing is Musket and Patrick, they don't have good infantry age 2. Of course you have muskets and crossbow. You don't have any cards for them outside of Unction, and Musket has Seton bows. You have rods, which are a good option, but your opponent isn't necessarily going to go cav. Max Magus and Black Duck, Iroquois, very strong infantry age 2. Patrick is going to relog because he has the sound bug. Black Duck is ports. So ports, you have options, especially on EP. You can go Musketeer. You have an age 2 card for them. You also, compared to RE, you have a 5% boost to gathering hunts automatically. So they have a decisively better economy. 5% over the whole game is really huge. It's 5% higher base stats. It's not even just like 5% more, and all the other cards go off of the base. All the other cards go off of that 5% more base. So I think this is a game Max Magus and Black Duck could take. Spain and Sioux, not very strong ecos. They're okay in age 2, but Bow Rider are strong for sure. But I'm guessing it's gonna be something like Bow Rider and Crossbow, and that's okay, but it's not super strong. I'm really curious what's gonna happen here.
I would like Black Duck to have a deck which involves 600 coin, 700 coin, 8 crossbows, and 6 musketeers. So you have the option of spamming units age 2, sending military shipments and maybe the crates afterwards, or 700 coin first, and then units to get that massive musketeer mass up, or having the unit cards in your deck kind of feinting a aggressive Portuguese playstyle, but get them to the Fortress Age, and then going for Dragoons behind us and letting your Aero player stay age 2 for the infantry mass, because Aero age 2 infantry, they do still pretty well. They do better than Sioux infantry and Spanish infantry in the second age. So I think the aggressive nature is actually on the Portuguese team here. Portuguese Aero, they have the option to go for the mid-map control with the War Hut, Town Centre play, and I'm struggling to see the options here for Sioux Spain. Do they just let the Spanish player FF sit at home with Falconets,
Are you ready?
Lancers? I'm not really feeling. If I had to pick seriously to play with, I wouldn't be feeling Sir Musket's team.
You know what I would do in their position? I would have Patrick send Sir Musket a bit of food, FF himself, and Sir Musket, first card 4 Axe, keep the War Hut from Iroquois from going forward, and that could be very decisive right there. If there's not an FB or even the TC wagon going forward, honestly, either
Well,
one of those.
are you suggesting the actual first card is for Axe Riders, skip your 3-vil,
Yep.
get a fast stage up due to the sling, but I just feel that is risky because as soon as you see those, you just put the Warhut down where you can. If you lose to Warhut, it's not the end of the world, but you delayed your Spanish age up. You've kind of crippled Suiko. I feel that's risky. That's a ballsy play. It's risky though.
It's that's what I would do though, because certainly, I mean, just taking out the TC wagon from ports would probably be worth it in that case, just for that alone. But it doesn't actually delay Spain that much. It's just like one villager later. That's it. Which is 25 seconds for anyone curious. That's not game deciding, and if you're going to FF, I think that's totally fine. And then, yeah,
you'd send at least 300 just to get the age up, so that's age up in about 3 minutes flat, and then you can send Axe Riders at a decent time, so that you're not really hurting yourself by not sending the 3-vil, and you basically want to be aged up as soon as you get that first shipment to make the most out of that play you've kind of pointed out there. So Spain could go for 300 food sling, and it depends what crates they get. If it's just a food and wood crate start, or maybe food and coin, then they're not going to go for the market. They can't go for the early TP on this map, so the Spanish player can just, he does have resources to spare. Interesting play. That's like a 1v1 person wouldn't think about in a 2v2, slinging for the early age 2 early cav rates.
Yeah, you only need to sling 200 food. You have your first shipment for, depending on treasures and different things, you have your first shipment usually for around 10 to 15 seconds before 4-axe is sent. And it actually doesn't hurt. Yes, it hurts your eco. Obviously, you first card 4-axe, you don't send 3 vils. But you also get... you also age up fast, so your TC isn't idled as long while aging as if you're to do like 400 wood age up or something like that. So if it keeps the opponent from being able to rush fast and your Spanish player gets a FF off, it could really be worth it though. We'll see what happens. That's definitely an option.
Check and see if your advice was listened into by Black Duck and Max on the voice chat there. They might have heard this extra bit of intel from you, thinking, "Hey, you know that boy Jailed? Yeah, he's actually come up with a good idea. How about this?"
Yeah, well, I hope they weren't listening. I know that Black Duck was in chat a little bit, but hopefully he muted it by now. But yeah, thankfully Black Duck is on the team opposite them. They're not really going to have much of a choice of aging up with a TC Wagon or aging up with a Trevoice, though. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely a game where Max Magus and Black Duck have an opportunity to take it. We saw the last game, an excellent game, best game of the series so far. And we'll see what happens this map. Just a little bit of information for this map. This map heavily favors early aggression. There is not a whole lot of room to gather natural resources. It's pretty much all in front of you. There's nothing on the sides. There's nothing behind you. For example, let's say Max Magus and Black Duck were to put an FB right there. The opponents, Patrick and Sir Musket, they're kind of have a half crescent around that of resources they can gather from, and they can't reinforce from one area to the other easily, and it's all available to be raided. So it's a map that heavily favors aggression. Additionally, there's not a whole lot of hunts and mines that are safe. There's almost none, in fact. There's berry bushes on the map, but as you know, berry bushes gather slower than hunts, although faster than mills. So they're an option, but you definitely want to try to get the hunts out first. Yeah, we'll see what happens this game. I'm really excited. There's a lot of different ways this could be played. It's definitely a matchup you almost never see, and that is one thing that I'm super excited about for this 2v2 Jackpot tournament.
Right, so this is a wood crate start, and all these civs kind of they like the wood crate start on a TP map, but they find it awkward here. So Musket not using any wood just yet. He could throw down a single Eco Su TP for extra 5% there and then for 50 wood. He's not doing it. He must have forgot those buildings exist. Spanish player early Nootka settlement for the residue XP trickle, and then chopping for a house behind this, but that will delay his age up by 1 vil, so I'm not overly sure about that. Hero player early market hunting dogs, decent vil control with his hunting. However, Black Duck, his early vil control and early hunting was pretty poor. You can see his 2 elks out here. All his villagers were, far away from that TC. There'd been quite a bit of walking time, which the Portuguese have 7 vils to start off with, if I remember correctly. So
Correct.
it should be easy to get an early vil queued up, but 1 vil focusing on herding your elk back to the town centre at that before that 12-second, or as the 12-second hits, so you can actually herd it back. But a bit sloppy there for Black Duck.
Yeah, we do see what Sir Musket has decided to go with. All right, well, we don't have good infantry. Our civs don't have a very good infantry. Let's go with natives. On this map, natives is an option. Nootka, very high siege. It is Sir Musket. I think perhaps it would have... Oh, man. One thing that would have been cool is if Patrick had the team attack melee infantry attack card. That would have affected the Nootka, but he does not have that. So it is the Nootka settlement out, though. It looks like neither... Ooh, Sir Musket and Patrick aren't even aging yet. Both ports and Iroquois are. Sioux just started. Spain is going to in just a bit right now. And yeah, so tempo advantage over to Max and Black Duck. We'll see what they make of it, though.
Yeah, so Spain, 16 vil age up and went for the home native TP for the XP instead of thinking about Nootka's forward. Okay, the forward one was 2 Klamaths in the centre and the other Nootka occupied by some muskets. Nootka's, we need to think about what they're good at. They're similar to pikemen as such, but they're better versus infantry than pikemen, much less good versus cavalry than pikemen, but with a decent siege stat of about 30, I think it is, and 200 HP, they're very cost-effective siege troopers. They can sit into the town centre fire for considerably longer than what pikes can, and versus Portuguese, I think we could be seeing 10 Nootkas underneath 2 Portuguese town centres, and Black Duck may want to send colonial militia here to try and defend that. Otherwise, it's going to be a good idling from Sioux if he does go for Nootkas, which I think Nootkas here, 5 Nootkas at least, can put a bit of pressure on. It's just easy units for Musket to pump out straight away. We'll have to see if he's going to go for a stable behind this, though.
Yeah, there's some options.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Sure.
What is this? A dog? Sioux going fishing? You what?
What the heck is this type of... to be fair, on EP, it's much more viable than RE. The fishing boats cost 70 wood instead of 100 base. We do see that there is a bit of an FB coming out here from Sir Musket and Patrick. Yeah, definitely unusual play. It looks like a war... Oh, wait. War hut out from Iroquois going there?
Nootka being trained from here. We've got to watch out, though. Nootka clubmen onto his town centre being built. They train fast because they're native units and their spawn point is nearby. If you can get a good batch of 4, 3... He's got a third one. He won't have the 4th or 5th. Could get a decent siege. There you go. Out the field, 30 siege. So 120 per siege on this town centre not yet built. This town centre will lose considerable amounts of HP. I don't think it will go down, but this has been a great luck. This has been good luck for Sir Musket. Town centre being dropped right next to his own TP. And Kanya's coming out versus Nootka, but you take that.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to back away with the Kanya. Only a 2x multiplier versus Cav. They literally only do 20 damage per hit versus Cav, which is much, much less than a Pike unit. Yeah. You know what I would have... something that would have been an option for sure is Bow Riders and the Klamath Skirmishers. That would have been a decent option out from Spain going for the Klamath Skirmishers. But... Klamath Riflemen. We'll see what happens, though. Max Magus and Black Duck certainly have the tempo advantage. We see that the Axe Riders out from Sue is coming over. We'll see if they're able to get any villagers. Well done by Max to keep most of his villagers close to his TC. I like that. Thanks for the follow, Eller Dice. Also, earlier, TV Total. Appreciate you guys. Let's look at this. This is a little bit, not necessarily a base trade. Really important to note, Spain is going to H3 right now. He's halfway up. He's built the barracks. He's going to be going skirmishers, it looks like. So, yeah, I like the choice to FF here. But they've got to hold on. This is a good amount of army in onto Sue's base. Rushing Sue is always very effective. Or not always, but it has the potential to be very, very effective. We'll see what they can do with it, though.
Yeah, and because Sir Musket went for native TP nukers and fishing, he has no wood at home spare for an early war hut or Sue TPs for defensive purposes here. Black Duck and Max going for the aggressive H2 as we spoke about, and he sent 700 wood, 600 wood. No H1 card here. He's gone aggressive with the 8 bow shipment. 6 musketeers likely to be next card behind this, and they're just going in. And this is how I said it was awkward for the Spanish player team. Does the Spanish player age up or not? And the fact that Spain is sitting back, going for the FF, he's just throwing some musket under the bus here at the moment. Villagers are trying to run it in groups of 4 and 7. At the moment, I've encountered about 15 villagers idled, not gathering. Yes, you do have some fishing boats going on, but you're losing your town centre, you can't age up. You're losing this wood shipment you can't really gather. And you just lost any momentum which you kind of had. And yeah, Nukers, Axe Riders, they're nice, but they haven't achieved substantial things yet.
Yeah, 4 Axe Riders, that's really nice, but he has no military production building whatsoever. He never built one. And he also shipped 700 wood to his TC. That can now be picked up by Max Magus and Black Duck if they're paying attention. That'd be really big. He also lost villagers. Let's look at the economic units. Currently, Sir Musket is on 9 villagers. 7 fishing boats, yes, but he can't do anything with that, with those resources without building a TC or a military building. And the Kanya Horseman scouts this. All right, so they scout that, and they're going over that net over there now. All of those villagers could go down. They might get into a fishing boat. They are going to, but let's see how many go down. Oh my goodness, this is so rough for Sir Musket.
Oh, but yeah, the Minutemen, very good versus villagers, have a really high attack. So the villagers gathering in the fishing boats, garrisoning, but the fishing boat itself then garrisons into the dock to just to kind of shake off the fire, then come back on the other side. I haven't checked these decks yet because it takes time to load up. No caravel shipment available for the Portuguese, so you wouldn't really expect to have caravels on this map. I mean, they're nice. Another dock on the other side. Yeah, dock play for Sue. The reason I was sound surprised because it's not what you normally do, and it hasn't really worked out here. Just never really had enough early military mass of either Axe Riders, Bow Riders to put pressure on. The Nuker were only really good for sieging, but as soon as a batch of Canyas came out, backed up by Tomahawks, they just kind of, their purpose just fell apart there. Spain sitting back FFing on an OTP map, remember, not a lot of XP. Those native TPs don't provide too much. Yeah, he has a nice mass of Musketeers, Rodoleros, Falconets, and untouched eco damage to him, but it's now 1 versus 2, or should I say 1.5 versus 2, because he's on that kind of... Spain is in a good spot, but just you see the other team backing off now. That they have that eco, they will have an eco lead as the game goes on, and they can just buy time with defensive buildings, and 2 players will just out send shipments, out tech, out mass. It's all on Spain at the moment.
Yeah, we see 12 villagers lost so far by Sir Musket. No TC, obviously, right now either. And he is trying to raid and get some damage, but Kanye Horseman on top of them. Really well done there. We do see Falconets out from Patrick. The pikemen killed them, though. 1 Falconet goes down. Is the other one going to go down? It's really close. I think it just might. I think it will. Yes, it goes down. No Falconets out. No artillery foundry at home. He's got no more cannon coming out. He does have some lancers. That's really nice versus an all-infantry army like they currently have. With exception of the Kanye Horsemen trying to chase the Axe Riders. But yeah, this is looking really, really good for Max Magus and Black Duck. This is their game to win it. If they don't throw it, which is a possibility, of course. But if they don't throw it, they should be able to seal this victory.
Yeah, it's tight because Lancers, the entire army here is infantry, and most of it is actually crossbow AN, which will get wrecked by the Lancers and backed up by a large mass of veteran musketeers. The Rodoleros at the moment feeding a bit. They're there, they're nice, but the musketeers actually doing a really nice role in the Spanish army. Rods and musketeers and hussars moving forward. We'll get a raid in. You know, let's not forget. Cascade range, low resource map, villagers exposed all the time, and this is a massive raid for Patrick. Rodoleros easily cutting through the villagers, and Hussars doing a good job here. Lancers are just prodding away, not as good raiders, but Crossbows trying to reinforce, but they're running away from the Lancers, and I think the fight's going to happen here. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be a big fight. I like the rods with the Lancers. Rods and Lancers counter pretty much everything. Rods counter all cavalry, Lancers counter all infantry. So this is a really important fight, though. If one side wins this decisively, they could win the game. This is really, really close. It is reinforcements coming over crossbows. How many Lancers are left? There's only one Lancer left. There's rods. Two Lancers, sorry. Two Lancers left. There, one Lancer. Caster's curse back on me. But yeah, this is really, really close. It is. It looks like Patrick's gonna win it. He will win it. He doesn't even lose that hero, that war chief for Iroquois. 10 HP left. But they have the ability to win this game. We just see another dock out. What the heck is going on? Oh, is it a revolt? Is it a revolt?
No, definitely not.
Are you sure about that? He's feeding. He's going to be feeding.
Is Patrick's got no way to get all the coin he needs to get to the fourth phase and then revolt.
He has a DC. Okay, never mind. Yeah, well, that would have been interesting if there was a revolt. All right, we do see the Hussar come in and kill a bunch of the Sioux villagers. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, well, the Hussars were there raiding duty, but the Hussars were in that fight earlier. They would have actually cleaned up the Spanish army, saved a lot of the crossbows and ANs, and actually would have been in a winning position. But the fact that you had lots of these Hussars away from the fight, okay, I know that they're weak versus musketeers, rods, but that fight felt really close towards the end. They ran for a raid, but then the villagers hopped into the town centre and they were fine. And you're raiding with, it's not just raiding with 3 Hussars, you're raiding with all of your Hussars. It's just so much military population away, and Max can't keep up with an untouched Spanish effort for this point in terms of military, and Black Duck is playing into Patrick's hands, I think.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit, yeah. We do see Max Magus has some tomahawks over there, has some Kanya horsemen there too, but not enough to deal with all the muskets and cab out. The veteran muskets and still age 2 cab out. The Hussars have come back for Black Duck. They could engage this. If that army is gone, then there's going to be almost no army left for Patrick and Sir Musket. We'll see what they do. The Tomahawks getting engaged on. I like the crossbow there. Crossbow to take out the muskets. Go ahead and cast this fight.
Here we go, though. Tomahawks in close combat with the cavalry. Tomahawks very good versus cavalry. Enough Hussars here, just tanking the damage. Okay, all musketeers in hand combat now. But you can see this, the amount of HP these guys tank with the musketeers crossbows firing from behind. No Minutemen available from the Aero TC. And, Hussars are going down, but the Spanish army is going down with it. And now Black Duck has the military lead behind this. Nuka's down here raising the town centre. But, the fact that they fought together was just enough to actually pick off the Spanish army, and now that Spanish army is cleaned up, Patrick has sent military shipment after military shipments. He's only just thrown down a second TC now. 10 military population behind this. Black Duck once again has that window with his units to put on some sort of map control, and a couple of musketeers here getting picked up by Tomahawks and Aero War Chief nearby. That should get cleaned up, and I think we're back to status quo. But I'm glad that they picked up that Spanish army, because otherwise Patrick would have been just dictating the rest of the game, and get another Hussar batch just to snare. Yeah, these guys hand combat now because they can't get away, and actually just running through the Hussars and losing all those musketeers for relatively little return.
Yeah, you guys were asking in chat about Revolt. I was thinking Revolt because if you are not building TC, if you're not building more villagers, you're just building docks and more fishing boats, it's very likely that you're going to be feeding your teammate. And if you're feeding your teammate and they're Spanish or Ottomans, there's a good chance of a revolt. So that was my logic on that. But yeah, it doesn't look like a revolt coming in currently, at least. We do see that economically, Patrick and Sir Musket are in the lead now. Mostly due to the fishing boats, and there's not a whole lot of fish left, so that lead is going to be inflated, will be inflated, and military advantage, slight advantage over to Max Magus and Black Duck. We do see that Max Magus is aging to age 3 though. That gives some good options. I'd like to see some musket riders out from him. Unless the Black Duck is going to age up also and go port schoons. A few villagers going down to the raids here. That's a rough there.
He didn't lose. I don't think he lost too many there, but we'll catch these Axe Riders. Lance is coming in, but they're pretty poor versus Stars. You know, they have more HP, but the attack is pretty weak. So they'll trade relatively equally at that point. More Lances there help, but finally the hero in the next age can train a batch of Musket Riders. Could even get given a few resources from Portuguese just to ensure a batch of 5, send 5 Musket Riders as well. The Lancers are what's really holding Black Duck back from engaging with his Musketeer and Crossbow army. These guys are pretty weak versus the Lancers, and this is the only trump card I feel that Patrick's team has over Black Duck. As soon as those Dragoon-style units get out onto the field, it'd be much tougher to kind of really press that Lancer advantage. Nuka raid though into Black Duck's base. We'll pick up a house. A lot of resources though invested into Nuka Clubman here.
Yeah, it's a lot. One thing I really like that Sir Musket and Patrick are doing, and a really big raid coming in right here. That's really huge. That's going to be a lot of villagers going down. Let's see if Black Duck can pay attention in time these last two. Maybe he's not going to lose as many as I thought. The low damage from Lancers compared to most Cav, relative damage at least, means that he doesn't lose as many as he could have. But yeah, those Nuka Clubmen cleaned up. One thing that's really nice is this War Hut. The War Hut on the coast there, having 24 range, and the anti-ship attack of 40 means that all those fishing boats are not going to gather as well. It's actually
it's range fire, not anti-ship attack versus fishing boats. So these fishing boats with 50% range resist. It's annoying. It idles the fishing boats, but they don't kill them, and that's just annoying. That is. But like you said, Lance is 23 attack versus 202 HP villagers with a 20% range resist. Those guys were shaking off those Lancer spears as if they were nothing, and now they're pushing out again. But they're pushing with no Aero army. I don't know why he's pushing it at this point. This could be a big throwaway from Black Duck here. He needs to wait for Aero. We have Forest Powers at home. We have Canyas chilling out, and the surround is coming in. Spain from behind. Dog Soldiers at home. Black Duck's realised this, but this is too late. He is going to be utterly crushed here. And close your eyes, people. This is not going to be pretty.
Yeah, this is definitely a really nice surround out from Sir Musket and Patrick. Get a good start on the rods, but yeah, all those Lancers, Dog Soldiers, all of them do really, really well versus the infantry. The Kanya Horsemen coming in now, and the Cav, but yeah, H2 army versus H3 getting a complete surround. That is a heavy loss for Black Duck. All of the army going down there. That's so hard to see. And the Force Prowlers coming up too. They're gonna get caught next.
Yeah. It's a shame. And the Resign's come behind this, and yeah, I think Black Duck realised at that point. I think the resignation's fair because Eero didn't really follow up with Musket Riders or a sizable mass behind it, and that's just a shame. And that's a sad way to end it there. However, maybe Black Duck felt that both Patrick's in the third age wasn't really kind of damaged at any point. He had the military, he wanted to press the military numbers, but the Sioux Big Button came in, and behind us, the Musket, 15 Bison with double hunting upgrades behind this, and then the Sioux Dog Soldier Big Button at a late time, War Dance as well, strong dog soldiers there taking down the colonial musketeer units. Remember, colonial units here is the emphasis of what Black Duck had.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. If he had aged up, gotten veteran Musk, veteran Cav, and they had gone something like Port's Goons with Forest Prowlers, they could have actually done a lot. But yeah, that was definitely a bit of a throw there. Yeah. I guess the Sioux fishing boat's OP, right?
No. If you're watching at home, viewers, the strategy that Sir Muskie went for is unorthodox. It is could catch your opponent by surprise. I would not recommend this though in a 2v2, especially when your opponent was Spain naked FF in at home. You left yourself really open for the push, and you did lose your town centre as a result for it. So, wouldn't recommend. Fun to see though. I have to give him that.
We do see that Sir Musket attributed 500 resources. I'm curious if he did any of that in... well, no, that's Sioux to Spain, so never mind. I guess he did that after he lost his TC and didn't have a whole lot to... he had fishing boats gathering food and didn't have anything to spend it on. Yeah, we'll look at some of the team stats for military population. We see that Max Magus and Black Duck pretty much they weren't really in a disadvantage up until 19 minutes into the game. They were a little bit lower at some points, and the Falconets were pretty big. Honestly, those pikes coming in and killing the Falconets, that was a big key point of that game too. But yeah, Sir Musket and Patrick take game number 5. That is all 5 games over to them. Some really hard-fought games, and yeah, I'm glad I was able to cast those last 2 ones with you, Harrison. That was some exciting games there.
Well, I mean, it's certainly nice. You're also very glad to cast the first with Malachite as well. A big round of applause for Malachite in the chat. Hey!
I wasn't meaning that. I was just thanking my casters. Okay, yeah.
No worries, brother. You can see military population how because of if you go into individual, it's even more daylight. How the Aero player lost his entire massive infantry against Patrick's Fortress Age composition of Vet Lancers, the Age Up Hussars, 9 Rod Shipmen, and 15 Vet Musketeers behind. While Black Duck had equal military population, about 35, but about 12, 13 of them were Hussars raiding a town centre, which, well, all the villagers got in, didn't kill too many villagers behind it, and Aero lost his army. And that at that point, it felt tough. They came back in for a great fight at 15 minutes, cleaning up the Spanish army. The Sioux was getting back on its feet at that point, and I think it was just the remassing colonial, but it was just the positioning, and then Aero not reinforcing with goon-style units, which was a critical mistake, I think.
Yeah, we also see with the dog soldiers, Sioux was doing combat dance, so really effective in that fight. In that last fight. But yeah, crazy game. Man, Max Magus and Black Duck, they had some really good opportunities to win that, win some matches off of Patrick and Sir Musket. We see that perhaps some of the jitters of playing players that are supposedly better than you, they are better, but you still have a chance to win some games. And I know that when I'm playing against players that are higher level, sometimes I just feel like I have no chance, and I don't really I feel defeated before I even start.
Now you just sit back, send your 4v4 cards to build orders, play quietly, and then come back in and take the game in the 50th minute, and everyone goes, "Oh, Jailed, you're so amazing! You're so great at team." You're like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm winning it." But those tougher players have already fought to the battle for you at that point. I would love to do some. I mean, not me do it, but if you did it for yourself, for the fun of it, just for the fun meme taking, just a Jailed top 10 Jailed list of Jailed build orders, which 1v1 players go, what?
Yeah, there's some team build orders it can be very different than 1v1. 2v2 is fairly similar to 1v1. So it's totally 1v1 build orders are very valuable here. A little bit of changes perhaps, but 3v3 and 4v4 can be changed up quite a bit. This concludes match number 2, game number 5. Sorry I didn't update that score earlier, but I can't put it to 5 just because of the UI overlay. Yeah, that was some good games in there. We had an earlier match for anyone watching now that didn't watch it earlier. You don't have to watch it. It was fairly one-sided, but so you saw Haza Chet practicing his treaty in the previous match. Also, there's a match. You're laughing.
Practicing his treaty while one person's taking 2v1.
Right. Yeah. Also, later on today, at 21 GMT, we are going to have Give You Anxiety and Soldier versus Kinnisi, Tit, and Timujin. So that should be some really good games there. That's it for now, guys. We are some excellent games, some excellent matches. Stay tuned for the rest of this tournament, guys, where there's going to be some great games. These are just the play-ins. Perhaps it's just completely random who you match up against. So there could be some really good games and some maybe not so good games, but quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, there should be some really good games.